Hello, and welcome to yet another Q&A Thursday, where I'm your host, Dane Hennon, and to my left, the wonderful Sydney Brigwin joins us.
Thank you. So excited to be here, as always.
Thank you for joining us. And to my right, way over there, we've got Gabe Garcia, the man, the myth, the legend. What are you doing to that gigantic truck behind you today?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to wash this beauty utilizing a full line of, well, every line of product that we carry. So I'm going to kind of go through what it is that we're going to do. So next week is brand week here at the Rad Company, and we are hosting Diamond Protect, so it's going to be pretty dang fun. But we are going to coat this truck with Diamond Body 36. So today's wash is the preempt of getting it ready for that. So what we are going to do, obviously we are going to use our armor supply. We're going to use tire and wheel on the wheels and tires. Then we are going to kind of do a mechanical and chemical decontamination wash. So I'm going to use active foam as my first initial dwell.
Your mic is doing something weird, is what I'm being told in the comments. Apparently, you keep getting muffled.
Okay, how's this?
You got to stick it on the
there you
outside
go.
of your shirt there, buddy.
It was outside my shirt.
Hopefully that helps.
Even more outside now.
Okay, much
There
better.
it's
I'm
better.
dead.
All right.
So basically what we're going to do is we are going to do a decontamination wash, chemical and mechanical. So I'm going to start with active foam as our dwell wash. Then what I'm going to do is after the rinse, I'm going to hit using Optimum's OptiCoat Ferrex. We're going to hit all the lowers and make sure we can get that chemical decontamination from any fallout. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit it with G-Wash. Now G-Wash is what we're going to use for our mechanical. And we are also going to hit it a second time because I'm going to clay it as well in that process. After we do the drying method with our brand new M22, which is on the storefront, and you should go check it out. I'm going to hit the windows with PNS TrueView, and then I'm going to use one of my favorites, Dynamic, for the fender wells and the tires. We are not going to put any type of SiO2 on this truck because, again, starting this afternoon into tomorrow, it is getting polished in preparation for that sweet, sweet coating.
All right. Well, I would say that covers everything and a bag of chips. So,
Wow,
we got some comments and questions to start getting into. I got 4 pages already. How
Oh,
about
my
that? So
goodness.
we're off to a great start.
Let's do it.
Speaking of off to a great start, Gabe, now's your cue. The starting gun's gone off. You can get to work on that truck because
Okay.
it's going to take the whole show
Yeah,
for you to get
I've got
anywhere on
I've
that
got
day.
the step ladder ready to roll.
All right, good deal. Well, all right, Sydney, you and I
Yes.
got this. We're
Yep.
going to throw up the first comment from One Who Shall Remain Nameless, which, by the way, before we read his comment,
Oh, yeah.
the game with One Who Shall Remain Nameless, we always come up with a
Oh,
name
man,
for him
yeah,
every
great.
episode.
Yeah.
You, what do you want?
Let's call him Jimmy 2.0.
Oh.
I'm going to call him 2.0 for short.
Okay, just 2.0
We'll just call him
is better.
2.0
Yeah.
for short.
'Cause-
Okay,
yeah.
2.0.
There we go.
Good afternoon and happy Friday, Junior, from the rainy South Coast of Massachusetts.
Oh, man.
I hope you're all well today. Well, 2.0, thank you very much. And yeah, it's a little sunnier over here. It's crazy sunny,
It
actually.
is.
It's too hot, if anything.
I think we're about to have like a major heat wave this weekend.
Oh,
It's
you
gonna be
say
bad.
that, but it's also true.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
Nope.
Umberto here saying, hello, TRC team. Always happy to see Umberto in the chat. And
course.
he specifically singled you out, of course.
Oh, nice.
And then he also pointed out that working at MWC cabling some stuff here couldn't be earlier. Oh, well, you know what? You're here now. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Dan Pfeiffer popping in with his hello. What's he saying?
Good afternoon and word up from sunny Minnesota, USA. Happy Friday Eve, TRC gang. Hope all is well. We are great, Dan.
We love you guys. So that is great to hear, Dan. I hope you are having a fantastic time where you are. We can send a little sunshine to the rainier places if you guys need it. I would be happy to share. I don't think we need all the sun we're getting. All right, Umberto, what's he saying?
I think they really want to see this. It says, would Dane be detailing today too and Sydney performing the inspection? I think they really want to see like Sydney trains Dane.
I mean, I sense maybe a video
Dane, you want to swap right now?
I feel
I
like-
only did the first tire.
Oh, hell no. We're not doing that right now.
No, you got time, buddy.
Not right now.
No,
but
I
you know
gotta make
what?
like a whole class outline. I need time.
We'll work on a curriculum. Sid will come up with something.
I can just imagine
A
Sydney
grading
pointing
system. I gotta have this down.
I can imagine Sydney pointing and saying, Dane, you're doing it wrong.
All right.
That doesn't look
Sensei,
good.
Sydney, there we go. Yeah, so, we'll figure something out. We'll get to that later.
I'm a pretty good teacher.
All right. I will take it. Delaney will just bully me.
Yeah, Delaney was bully. That is true.
She is ruthless.
Yeah.
One who shall... Oh, my gosh, I almost said it. 2.0.
2.0.
That's your name now for the show today. What's 2.0
Jimmy 2.0,
say?
actually.
I
Jimmy
scooped
2.0.
up a camo and blue slim dryer as well as an M22, a few camo TRC stickers, and a gallon of Pilot, Carpet Bomber, and KCX glass cleaner to try. And because Sydney made me some maroon edgeguard pads, yes!
Nice.
Man,
Good choices.
they're the best. Love them.
Any tips for him when he's getting to work there?
With the maroon edgeguard?
Yeah, just
I
anything
would
you
have
want to throw
picked
out
up
there
a
for
bottle
people
of
who
Rehab
do.
if you don't already have one. It's like Rehab and the maroon edgeguard. There's nothing it can't handle. But very great choices. You're going to love all of that. Mm-hmm. You're going to love it.
All right. Next up, we got Umberto saying, that would be something great to watch, and seeing Dane choosing different towels for different tasks.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they want to see me nerd out on towels while I do the work.
Yeah, that's fine.
And like why I would
Yeah.
choose what I choose. So,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? That's a good idea.
Perfect.
That would be a very funny segment.
I would make sure it's funny because
We should
it's
let Jimmy
debatable
know.
how much somebody's going to learn from watching me. Actually, that's not true. They'll learn a lot from watching me. They'll watch me and go, okay, whatever he does, I'm not doing that.
Right. It would be funny because every task I'd be like, tell me why you wouldn't use an FTW.
It
That's all
would
I
be
use.
that, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
so I can't
Yeah.
just use an FTW?
Yeah. I just
Got
do,
it.
but yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, but I understand. I like that idea, though.
Yeah.
So thank you. All right, 2.0. Says he sees Crystal Washes now on the website. That's theragcompany.com. Are there plans to carry all of the P&S fragrances and natural finish? Sid, what can you tell us about that?
So there are a couple fragrances on the website, and I'm not sure which ones that TRC is missing, but we can definitely talk about that. And then natural finish, that's a whole can of worms.
Missing natural finish.
Yeah. Gabe and I are big on the natural finish bandwagon, and I would love nothing more than to see natural finish be at TRC, as would Gabe.
Yes. Absolutely agree. Guys, it's amazing.
So does Dane. He just doesn't know it yet.
I don't know yet. Apparently, I will, though.
When I train him, he's going to see why, and then he's going to really want the
I am
natural finish as well.
impressionable. I am open to being influenced on this front.
Perfect.
All right.
2 head bobs or more.
Oh yeah,
That
that's when
means
I
it's
really
great.
like something.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
involuntarily give you a certain number of head bobs, it means I'm like really into it.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Alpha Tango, or AT4 for short now. What's he saying?
I'm working, so I will have to catch the replay. Not a problem. We love that too.
No worries.
Congrats to Anthony on the new baby. Hope
Yes.
everyone got lots of family time last weekend. Have a great show. Also, buy all the M22s. So worth it.
Agreed.
Love it.
And Alpha Tango, I got your email, by the way. Thank you for sending that. That was a great bit of help you threw out there about the blue collar. So thank you for giving me a little feedback on that. In short, he was a big fan.
Cool.
So that was cool
Awesome.
to hear.
I'm just
But,
glad those things made it, because the last show, it was like all the rage on like when they were going to be here. So I was just so thankful to see that they actually made it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you never know nowadays.
And to be fair to Alpha Tango here, the blue collars, those towels are slept on. Like people, they don't talk about them as much, but man, like I feel about the FTW, the blue collars are kind of up there too.
Nice.
You know,
I
for
haven't
like
tried
an
'em yet.
inexpensive way to do a lot of different things. They're really
Nice.
appealing that way.
Cool.
So yeah, check them out if you haven't given them a shot. Next up, we have a bunch of replies back and forth, but Umberto made sure to also say congrats on the new baby,
Yes.
Anthony. We will send the word along. And Ted Hughes here. When will Clean and Shiny have the M22? Also, are they getting released from PNS, Sydney?
Yes, I believe that it is on the way. I could be wrong, but I do believe it's on the way. And then the M22s, I believe, are also right.
I
Don't
believe
they go
if they
direct?
haven't already gone,
Yeah.
they should be going
Yeah.
very soon. So you guys should be able to.
Yeah.
If you're having any trouble getting a hold of those, like if they're not there yet, They may be traveling currently,
Yeah.
but if they're not, reach out to John Hull at Clean and Shiny UK. Obviously, if you're aware of Clean and Shiny, you know who to talk to.
Yeah.
But yeah, just reach out and ask him directly, and he would probably have the
Yeah.
most up-to-date
For sure.
info on how that's going. All right, next up I got ProShine Solutions saying hello, everyone.
Hello.
Right back at you, ProShine. Thank you for popping in the chat. And Super Auto 2K here a little earlier. He's been
Nice,
popping
yeah.
up lately,
Nice.
but we're happy to have you here, bud.
Yes.
Then 2.0. What's he saying, Sid?
Sydney, how much good will full send for leather? I swear Leather Star was out of stock when I placed my other order Tuesday, but it's back now.
Okay, so he's trying to use it on leather.
I think you're saying, like, can you use it on full send on leather? Here's the deal. It's probably not my favorite. If you do, you may want to dilute it. So it's pretty high on the silicone content just because we have to remember, it was originally formulated for off-road vehicles. So we're talking things that are super dried out, and so you can absolutely use it, but I would probably cut it 1-to-1, to be honest. It's going to give it a little bit more of that natural finish feel. But otherwise, full send on leather is pretty shiny. It's not going to be sticky or attract dust or anything, but it is going to be a little bit shinier because of the silicone content. So absolutely try it, but dilute a little bit of it 1-to-1 and see how you feel.
Leather treatment on that.
Okay. Got a little bit more to add to that, or just
I was
use
just
leather
going to say
treatment?
I would do leather treatment, and if we had natural finish here,
Yeah. Yeah.
Back at it again.
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Yeah. Just, send in a request for natural finish.
Straight up. All
They're not
right.
going to let me on the show anymore.
Your mission heard loud and clear. David Cervantes, a.k.a. David Blowy. What's up, guys and gals? Right back at you, David. I was happy to hear your update on your truck stuff. Was going fine, getting things fixed up. Happy to hear that. Hopefully that has continued into this week. And then I've got Alex Dewar, the wonderful Alex Dewar,
hi,
one
Alex.
half of the Detail
Me
Grind
too.
podcast, saying happy Friday, Evil. Hope everyone is well. Right back at you, buddy.
Yes.
And of course, everybody says hey right back to him. Juice Free, always a controversial one down here in the comments.
Okay.
Will ceramic sealants mess with the USS? That's the ultra safe sponge. Like when I throw my sealant towels in my rinseless bucket to soak. I don't foresee that being a problem with
I
the USS.
Don't foresee it being a problem
but
either.
don't leave it forever either.
Yeah, I don't foresee it being a problem, but here's like my one recommendation is I probably wouldn't, when you're throwing your sealant towels into your bucket to soak, I probably wouldn't throw it in the bucket with the USS. I just don't think that, like for me, if I'm doing that, I have like my wash bucket with my USS in it. And then if I'm using my bucket of rinseless wash to soak stuff, I'm usually using a fresh bucket of soak, and I have my USS like in the sink being washed. So I don't think it would mess with it, but I also think that I would soak those separately.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, your fear is that you're turning whatever gets into contact with the ceramic
Yeah.
sealants hydrophobic.
Yeah.
And in the case of towels, yeah, that's bad news. If you want to have a drying towel and suddenly it's hydrophobic, it doesn't dry anymore. It kind of defeats the purpose. But
Yeah.
with like a sponge like the USS, they're porous. It's a slightly different makeup than like a microfiber towel is.
Yeah.
You can still hold water, hold liquid in
Yeah.
it. So it's a different kind of thing. It's not really going to develop the same kind of problems that a
And
towel
it's never really
would.
going to be allowed to cure per se.
Right.
The water is going to dilute it so much, but just for, no, it's not going to cause a problem, but I would still probably soak my sealant towels
Yeah.
separately.
Same time, don't tempt fate if you don't
Yeah.
have to. I mean, unless
Yeah.
you're trying to do an experiment, then
Yeah.
that's its own thing. What's up, gang? Also, thank you, Juice. And Ice Out Detailing with a woot woot. Hey, hey. And then we've got Amber Atkinson giving us a hello, 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 because I had to throw that out there in the voice. Thank you, Amber. And Frank Opus. Okay, Opus One Auto Detailing
Hi,
with a good
Frank.
afternoon. Nice, Frank. I don't think I've seen you in the chat here before, so happy to have you
Yeah.
along for the ride. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. We all got to clap. Amber gave us a
Oh,
super
so
chat
nice.
for
For
some
ice
summer
cream.
ice cream. That's really cool, actually.
Do the
Thank
ice cream
you,
trucks
Amber.
ever come by here?
We did an ice cream party for the warehouse crew with money from the super chats and
Okay,
stuff
cool.
last year.
Nice.
And that was a really cool idea. So
fun.
maybe we could do something like that
Yeah.
again this year
I
when
love
it gets
that.
like really hot out.
Yeah.
We're going that direction.
That would be
so
fun.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
I love it.
Then I've got Armor Detail Supply saying, I made one live.
Look at
All right.
that.
Happy to have you here, bud. Oh, yeah. Great timing.
You caught it
actually.
at the right time.
You're holding it a little too high, Gabe. It was out of frame. Yeah. Lower. More towards your knees.
There you go.
Now it's in the frame. I'm sure that looks really weird. Okay. Moving along. Amber saying, wow, loads of folks today. Yes, Amber, it's looking like a good show. Happy to have you here. Essential with a hey. And I apologize to everybody who's like, where are the detailing questions? We got a lot of hellos at the beginning. That's just the way it works.
People just like to say hi. Oh,
and
gosh,
you
look
know
at me
what?
bumping everything.
I love that everybody here is like making friends. It's kind of a community.
Yeah.
We enjoy that. And to tell the truth, the reason I started the Q&A way back in the day was just a way to be like customer service outside of the normal customer service channels. It was a fun way to get in there. So I want you guys to treat this like an opportunity. Ask those questions. That's what it's there for. And
Right, Dane?
that's right, everybody. Love everybody. One shall remain. Oh my God, I did it again. 2.0. Did Gabe buy a big truck? No. Gabe would never buy a Stellantis product. I'm sorry.
But I
He
did
just
buy a
wouldn't.
cool. I did buy a new car recently.
He did.
But it's not that big.
You'll be shocked to know that it is from, a very reliable manufacturer.
I wonder if they can guess it.
Economical.
And of course, it's not from this decade.
No, it's
but
not
it's
from
fast.
this decade. It's fast relative to Gabe's other vehicles, which I got to give him credit for. I actually love these little
It's a
cars.
6-speed
I would say
manual.
it's a car.
That's
Yeah,
fast.
it's a
I actually
6-speed
got to
manual.
drive it.
They're fun.
Yeah,
They're
I
really
got to
fun.
drive it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
They're like among the few front wheel drive cars next to like Mini Coopers and stuff that I really have actually enjoyed driving.
Yeah.
All right.
Alex.
Then we get to the
Mine
comments
story
about
now,
your
I know,
mic.
right?
Where Gabe sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher. Said
my
choose
gosh, that's
free.
so funny.
I'm glad we got that fixed. Thank goodness. And then Jeff C said, much better. Okay, good. Everybody heard it. Let's go. Sheepstar checking in. Hello. Juice Free popping out with a Slim Dry Gang. Okay, also, if you haven't grabbed an N22 and you want to try something on the opposite direction on the drying scale, still able to dry, but a totally different kind of weight and stuff, Slim Dry is where it's at. Those are the new guys. They're awesome. Then we've got Steven Audette. What's Steven saying?
What would you recommend to use for upholstery water stain protector? Oh man, this is so hard. This is such a hard question. So here's the deal though, is there's probably not going to be too many answers for this, because if you have one of those special vehicles like a Toyota Tundra that stains when you just get water on it,
Yeah.
it's just a nature of the beast with the fabric.
Fabric protectant that's going to have some hydrophobic properties.
I've tried that. The problem with fabric protectants, I know they sound great. It might do, it might work for like a month or so, but the problem with any fabric protectant, I don't care what brand it is, I have not found one that holds up for that long, because all coatings, all SiO2 break down with friction. And if we're sitting on these seats and flexing that fabric, it breaks down the coating.
Yeah.
And it may not be completely gone, but at some point it's gone enough that if the water's just going to make a ring. And so just that type of fabric it's just so susceptible to staining that honestly what I would use to protect it would be like Carhartt seat covers. That would be my answer.
The ultimate coating,
Yeah.
just putting another layer of fabric on
and
top.
I mean there is some good fabric coatings out there, but just keep in mind, like if you really, really want them to work for a good amount of time, you might be reapplying it every 2 months.
Okay.
Can get Smart Fabric by G-Tech. That stuff works pretty decent. I get it. It's not going to stop it 100%
But do you
from
know
staining.
the fabric I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
the fabric that
Yeah.
stains with
Su-
water.
Subaru
yes,
does
those
it
things
too.
do a great job on regular fabric, and defending against stains. But I mean, I have tested everything.
It's the
Yeah.
kind that's like made from recycled
and
plastic
it's called like sport
bottles.
seats or something.
Yeah,
but
My
You
Volvo
almost-
had those,
Yeah.
and of course they were that grayish, not quite beige,
Yeah.
but like on the taupe side, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just a color that looked terrible when it got
but
like
even
a
if
water
you put,
stain
like
on
your
it or
cup
something.
and it has
Exactly,
2
you
dots
get
of
the
water,
rings,
it stains.
and the only solution was to
Yeah.
just stain the whole thing,
Yeah.
so that at least it was consistent.
Yeah.
That was the only way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a tough
that
one.
was frustrating. Otherwise, I love that little car. It was a great little
Yeah.
car. Alex Dewar, if Joey Belinsky and I were there, I'd get the roof and he'd get the lowers. Yeah, that makes sense, Alex.
Yep.
The stool. The stool is great, by the way. You can get this at the Rag Company. But one thing to note, it's not great on Swiss tracks.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. We got DIY with Kane, Minnesota in the house. All right.
Nice.
Happy to have you here, DIY. Then I've got Fine Detailing, Ryan, hanging out. It's 102
man.
here. Relax,
Ryan,
Boise.
you're killing me.
Relax. Okay, so clearly Ryan thinks it's a competition. I'm telling you what, after it gets above like 86, 87, 88, I'm not enjoying it anymore.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's just not fun.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what it is after that. I just don't enjoy any of it.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Juice Free Alex, you should get on his shoulder and wear a trench coat to wash a car just like you. Yeah, it's always a joke. Like, somebody walks in and they look a little wobbly. It's just 3 kids in a trench coat.
Oh, gosh.
All right, next up, I've got Mango 350Z. Any update on PNS release gallons to be back in stock? What can you tell us about that, Sid?
I heard, I hope it's not a rumor, I heard that they were filled this week.
Oh,
so
okay.
I know that there was, it was still like a limited, but I believe that a bunch did go back out. So, and actually I heard there was some coming to TRC. So,
okay.
Yeah. So,
well,
yeah.
Good to hear.
It's on its way.
That's the best we can hope for then.
Yes,
so hopefully...
but it's so great. I know. You know what? I'm stressed out just as much as you are because my gallon's only halfway full.
Oh, man.
It's starting to paranoid me.
Sounds like your dreams may be answered here. Just maybe. Mike G. On vacation in Hawaii, so aloha to all.
Geez, how nice of you to check in.
Why are you watching us?
Yeah.
No, why are you watching us here in Hawaii? That's awesome.
There's better things to look at there, Mike.
Yeah, he's
Certainly
probably laying
than
on a beach. He's probably watching the people surf.
With, I mean,
you could literally be here
yeah,
washing this big truck.
Maybe he's on a nature hike, or maybe he's got us like in the headphones because he's like riding in a helicopter.
Maybe
over
his
a volcano.
kids are visiting, and it's like one of those situations where he's in the other room trying to hide from the kids.
You know what? It's also morning there. Maybe he's still not
drinking a cup of coffee.
Yeah, maybe he's just getting up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, give him the benefit of the doubt then. All right. Moving along. Fine Detailing.
Yes.
For Sid.
Sid, how's the timeline on interview? You guys are asking all the hard questions today. Jeez Louise. So here's the latest update on intervention. Don't hold me to it. I have heard that the abrasive is almost ready. I believe they will be making it. I heard the last week of May, which is currently right now. So I don't know that they're making it yet, but I have heard that we are expecting it by the middle of June to be in stock. So we will just keep crossing all of our fingers and toes.
Well,
now Ryan, he actually got to use it. That's why he's asking. It's because it's like, okay, let's get this going, right? Because it's so great. Yeah.
Can I just say how great that smells?
Oh my God, it smells so good.
It smells so good.
You know what? And then he's going to go ruin it with Ferrex.
Yeah, no.
That smells so good.
Ferrex as a product works great.
What is
that?
that?
Smells not
This
great.
is Actifoam.
Oh my gosh, that smells
Actifoam, however,
so good.
works great, smells great.
It kind of smells like a nightclub, but it smells fantastic.
It smells great. Yeah. This is... And honestly, for this type of wash and preparing your car for a chemical or mechanical decontamination, I always start with Actifoam. It's the bee's knees.
It smells good.
I like it.
No, it's a great way to start if you're going to be doing a coating or something anyway.
Yeah, smells great.
Oh, yeah. I can smell that for the whole time. Just keep that going. All right. Alex Dewar here saying trains with Danes. I don't even know what the commentary is here, but...
I know. Perhaps the...
Oh, no. Your train thing. Holding up a couple plates or something. They had trains on.
Oh, yeah. Dane back in the day, the Hennon family had this wall collection of train plates. And Dane, in his early years of YouTube, had 2 train plates right in front, like right in here.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Whoa, they're coming at you!" And that was the joke I remember.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know
Train
how.
plates
That's
with Dane.
the one thing that stuck in his head. It really resonated with him. I don't know why.
That's so funny.
But I mean, I was on YouTube when it began, so
That's
been
so
around
funny.
a minute.
That's too good. That's too good.
Anyway, moving along. Oh, Joey, thank
That's
you.
so
Good Lord,
nice,
Dane, looking
Joey.
handsome today. I appreciate
Did you get a haircut?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah,
It does look
thank
nice.
you. I got Hanzo here. What's Hanzo saying?
What towels would you recommend for a 1 bucket wash method? So we're going to hold you to that you mean a wash bucket. So no wheel and bucket and wash mixing, right? So
Right.
a towel for a 1 bucket wash. Does he mean like a rinseless wash?
So like a 1 bucket. It could be a dwell wash, like what we've talked
Sure.
about.
Yeah.
So a dwell wash and, oh geez. So this is tough. Because in a 1 bucket method, right, you do your dwell wash, then you do your contact wash. You need a towel for drying. Unless, here's the hypothetical, you utilize a blower to dry off the paint, then I'm using an FTW. You see what I'm saying? But you run into that issue. It's one or the other.
Yeah. So so a drying towel though, I think there's so many good ones. Like I probably love the Liquidator the most, probably just because I've had the most time with it, right?
Yeah.
But I love the new Slim Dryer. I got to use the M22 today. I like that one a lot as well. I still think I like the Liquidator better, but this is just like a girl issue. I don't like heavy things, but
That's
but I
okay.
think it's great.
The M22 is essentially a liquidator beefed up.
Right, beefed up.
So,
Yeah. So I do like it, but I really love the Slim Dryer and I really love the Liquidator. But I think if you're talking about doing like, to do towels for like a rinseless wash in 1 bucket, then I personally like the Creature or something of that sort. Maybe an Eagle. I think the Eagles are nice because they hold a lot of water and they have enough room for the dirt to go down. So I still am a big sponge fan. I don't use towels, but I think, something like a Creature or a Eagle 500 if you are talking about doing a rinseless wash. Otherwise, just a 1 bucket wash method, you can really use any of the drying towels are going to be great.
Excellent.
They're all great.
All right. Then I've got Jeff C. with another question for Sid here. What's he saying?
Oh, my goodness.
They are on you this
It's
one.
like they read my emails to Bob.
Yeah. So funny how that works.
Yeah. Is there any chance we will be getting Reflect in gallons? Yes, there is a chance. I don't have a timeline on that yet. We do get a lot of requests for that, and I am right there with you because I go through like an entire pint of Reflect every single week. So I'll check on that, but I haven't heard it's like on the schedule yet. But I know we get asked that a lot, and I am pushing for it as well.
Gabe's giving us a warning. He's about to do
As
some
a
chemical
warning.
warfare.
We need like nose plugs or something.
Now, again, we're not going to pull a Carson. We're not going to spray the entire vehicle in iron.
Okay.
So the key thing with mechanic or chemical that I look for is I look at the lowers, the rear. Those are typically the most common areas that you're going to get any type of decontamination. Rear rocker panels, sure, plenty full. But in this case, you don't necessarily need to go extremely crazy. Carson, if you're watching, I love you, buddy.
Now, I know we're kind of giving it a hard time, but I must say, Ferrex is a great product.
Oh, it's a great product.
It's just the smell, one of those things. Because I hear a lot of detailers lately.
Yeah.
It seems like anytime people get excited about something in the detailing sphere, someone always comes out and has to like try and pop the balloon or be a bummer.
Right.
And when people got excited about scents again, nature of the beast is cyclical. It's like scents are like, oh, who needs scents? And then it kind of goes away. And then people are excited about scents again. Anthony never stopped being excited about scents. He's always excited about scents. However, it does feel like lately there's a little pushback to the whole, why does a detailing product need to smell good kind of thing? And it's not that the smelling good is like going to somehow improve the way the product works as far as its job. It's just making your experience better.
Exactly.
It makes it a more pleasant experience. So when you see detailers who get mad at somebody for like commenting that they like the way something smells, I feel like they're kind of missing the point.
Yeah,
like it's not meant to be like people, I don't need something to smell good. I just need it to work. It's like, why not both?
Yeah, why not?
I understand
both? Exactly.
it changes the nature of a product sometimes when you add a fragrance. Dave's talked about this. It can have issues with how a product performs. So I got to do things to counteract that. But I think it's worth it.
Ferrex back in the day, it was really purple.
Oh, like the best too. Right, it was so good.
But the thing with it was so strong. You could not use it indoors whatsoever. If you did it in the garage, oh my gosh,
it was
the
like
very
7
first
days.
Very first rag company, when we did videos, when
Yep.
We were filming videos. We had to do it out in the back alleyway.
Yeah.
Because it stunk so bad.
I have to say, right now, I'm
I
not
can't
getting
smell
much.
it right now.
I'm not
Yeah.
getting it. It's
Yeah.
clearly been improved.
So
Like,
one thing I want to know, we did a video on this on Amazon.
Okay.
And we touched on the OptiCoat line. This is Carson and I. And this line, I forget how amazing this line
Right.
is.
it's always been good.
It's always been
Always.
so good. Yeah.
Hypersil, if you guys haven't tried Hypersil and applying Hypersil
Freaking
on the paint
amazing
surface
stuff.
when it's wet,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, nuts.
Yeah. Nope.
Those are my 2 cents.
Agreed.
So I'm letting it
Facts.
dwell for a couple of seconds.
Now, Joey Belinsky noticing YouTube has added a new feature. We have leaderboards now? Yeah, apparently YouTube's playing around with some new features, including a leaderboard for commenters. So,
funny.
hey,
That's
what do you
cool.
know? People can compete to see who ranks highest when it comes to asking those
let's go.
high-quality questions.
That's
Guys, keep it up.
awesome.
All right,
I love that.
ProShine Solutions. Were the Rupes blue wool pads taken off the site? Couldn't find them anywhere this morning. You know what? Off the top of my head, I do not know. However, if I ask nicely, maybe Lucas or Aaron or somebody are listening, they can weigh in the comments and tell us. At least I'm hoping that's the case. All right, so hopefully I can get back to you on that one, ProShine. Somebody will have something for me in a little bit.
Oh, now I'm getting a little whiff. It's not that bad, though.
No, not that
Not as
bad.
bad as I remember from like 10 years ago.
You know what? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
smelling it.
Yeah,
it's not. Like, I
it's not that
recognize the
bad.
smell,
Yeah.
but it is not offensive
Yeah.
the way
no,
that it
it's
used
like
to be.
1/10 of what I remember.
Because it used to be, we'd have like a hallway where we had like all the
Oh, yeah.
gallons ready to go out.
Yeah.
You'd walk through that hallway. They don't even open. You could smell
Yep.
it. It was just like, all right,
Yep.
that's what's up. Oof.
Yep.
What does the crown mean, Sheepstar? That is for the rankings on the comments, apparently. So it's giving you guys a little something to, I don't know, react
cool.
to. The more you yap, the more you reap the rewards, I guess. 8-ounce Rehab back in stock yet? Asks
Oh, man.
Superado. No, they're going
You guys
straight
are
for the kill
killing
today.
me.
They're
You're
on
killing
you.
me. Last time I looked, it was not back in stock yet, but it should be. I know that it's made. So it should be. It should be. It should
Okay.
be.
And
Super Auto, I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to find out and I'm going to send you a message. But you guys are asking all the questions,
you're
which I
asking
love
great
because they've been
questions.
all my questions this week. So I love it.
it's all clearly you guys are just reading her mind.
Yes, it is. That's the scary part.
2.0 helped me out in the comments here. I see way ahead on my phone here that 2.0 says that Lucas answered his question about the Rupa's wool pads and said that Rupa's designed them and they will be coming back in stock. They got a redesign. So
Nice.
you'll be able to expect seeing those soonish, but
Nice.
not quite yet.
Nice.
Okay, next up, Sheepstar. We don't need something to push more comments. This will flood the pages. You know what? That's just the way it is. Jeff, see, I have no idea what it means, but apparently I'm number one.
That's
Jeff,
awesome.
You do write some high quality comments. I'm going to
Keep
choose
commenting.
to believe that is why. 2.0. I already have Rehab, and on Sydney's recommendation, I'd already picked up the blueberry pads, so had to get the maroon too.
You're set.
Yes.
Awesome.
And, Jeff is dropping down the ranks. He's number 2 now.
Oh, gosh.
Joey also loves him some natural
Oh,
finish.
man.
So
It's the best.
for the people who keep hearing you guys talk about
Yeah.
natural finish, can you just kind of
Yeah.
give us like a brief refresher as to what it is you like about
Yes.
Gabe? You'll get your turn. I just want to hear Sydney say it first, and then if you
I
want
know,
to add
but Sydney's
something,
like the piano.
Go for
I have
it.
to give Sydney credit where credit's due. She's the one who led me onto it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Because I said it's like my favorite product, right?
So let the rest of us know.
So Natural Finish is in the Pro line, right?
Right.
And it's great. It is in the same family of silicones as both Dynamic and Full Send. So it uses the same silicone base. So it does that whole self-leveling thing,
Yeah.
which is so nice. And so when you use it on interiors, it gives you like a ever so slight satin shine, so it's literally like a natural finish. But it does give actual hydration versus like say something like an interior detailer. So it actually gives full UV protection, and it's not sticky. It doesn't attract dust, and it has PNS, I believe, has the best leather scent on the market. And so it has the leather scent. So it leaves that lovely leather scent in the car. But it goes on, you can see right where you put it. I call it like a guide shine. And so I put it on with an applicator, all over all the plastics, the leather, everything. And then you just like step away for 5 minutes and you look back and everything is just perfectly self-leveled.
Okay.
There's no residue left behind. There's no shiny streaks. It is so good. So good. It's my favorite on WeatherTech mats. So I spray it down and set them in the sun and it's just absolutely amazing. I love natural finish. Love it. Okay, Gabe, your turn.
Anything to add, Gabe?
So if you want a dressing that's kind of a good all-around dressing, natural finish is that. Like Sid said, it's got self-leveling properties. But the other thing too is, for instance, my Land Cruiser has a metal bumpers. So I'm dealing with a combination of metal and plastic on my vehicle, plastic fender wells. And then the other thing too is, if you are a Toyota fan and you have the TRD Pro rims or the matte black rims, they don't clean up well. No. And so I spray natural finish onto the wheel face, onto the rubber, onto the bumpers. I let it sit and it levels. But the other thing is it stays lasting for a long time. And I can dilute it properly so it goes a long ways, and I can use it on the interior. A lot of times when you're dealing with dressings, you're either dealing with a combination of interior or exterior dressing, and this is kind of your two-cut combo, and it works really, really well, right?
That's awesome.
So that's why I like natural finish. Now Carson is behind the camera.
Full send
He's
is
giving
in
me
here.
a
He's gonna
thumbs
try
up.
to-
He's saying full send.
Full
but
Send has some opinions.
Carson just, I don't even know.
Well, let it be noted for the record for our audio listeners that Carson walked into the room and gave a thumbs down,
to Gabe.
All right, moving along here. I have Mac Bergson. What's Mac saying, Sid?
I got the IK sprayer foam plus. Can't find the Schrader valve. Any idea where I can get more? Because it comes in the package, right?
Okay.
Does Home Depot sell Schrader valves, Gabe?
Yeah,
you should be able to
pick
find one
up
at
there.
Home Depot. And then, of course,
Amazon too.
Yeah, Amazon.
Yeah.
And I bet you could also reach out to IK and they'd probably send you one.
Yeah, one way or another, you'll be able to get one there. Sorry if that wasn't included. That seems odd. All right, next up, I have Essential. I recently got the blue MTM gun, and let me tell you, it's amazing.
Yep, it
Sounds
is.
like maybe the Aqua line, if you got the blue MTM. Yeah, no, that's one we really enjoy, actually. We really like those.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Sheepstar claiming to have a tough question.
Oh, boy.
What's his tough question?
They've been tough so far. If you had to drop one line from your towel, what would it be?
Oh, like
from
one
your
line
towels,
of
like
towels,
one towels.
from our lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
like if
personally.
you had to get rid of any of them, what would you do? Well, if I'm thinking purely based on redundancy, the reason we have so many different types of microfiber towels is because everybody and their cousin, they like something we have and they go, yeah, but if it just had this XYZ different thing, I would love it more, and then I would buy way more. And, once you get too niche, you kind of wind up in like a little pigeonhole, and not everybody's going to follow you there, but everybody kind of wants a bunch of things. You wind up with like 300 different towels.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to all-purpose towels, it can get a little redundant in that space. With a rip and rag, you can eliminate a lot of those other, what would be general utility style towels. You just grab rip and rags and go to town, whether they're the XL, the Pro ones, or the standard ones. They're both 70-30. They kick butt. They're awesome.
True. I could answer this question too, and I hope I don't get in trouble because we were joking around. We were joking around in the office today about how I'm too brutally honest. But
go for it.
Probably the line that I would drop would be, and not because I don't love them, I think they're beautiful, but it would be the Wolf.
Oh, the Wolf. Okay, not a fan, huh?
Ouch! What are those called?
The Wolf Pack towels?
The Wolf Pack. And here's why. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. I love them. They remind me of a teddy bear. But I've never been able to get mine to stop linting. And they're just like, I haven't found them where I'm like, oh, I want to use that. But I love the way they look.
See,
I love the way they look.
A bit of a challenge, with like the long pile stuff like that. it's not going to be everyone, but occasionally you are more likely to run across an issue like that with a long pile fluffy towel, say like Eagles and stuff like that. It's every once in a while like a batch comes through and it's like, okay, you got to deal with that. But
I kept trying to find what job they would work for me for in my shop, and that doesn't mean they're not going to work for everyone, right? This is just a me personal, but I think they're beautiful and I have them and they just sit there and look pretty. Some things are just
I would use them in the same ballpark as like using a minx or potentially like a rinseless wash towel, waterless wash towel. Excellent at that.
They might work for a
They're
rinseless
really good
wash.
use
I just
if
don't
you're
do
a
that.
person who would want to use a towel for that instead of a sponge or a pad or something like that. That's really where they
I could see where
do
they
well.
could be good for that.
But yeah, no, I think that's fair. What about you, Gabe?
Dane? Well, okay.
Jeep's asking. He's asking a tough question. People think we won't answer this. I'm telling you, we're real, so we'll talk to you about it, man.
In a hypothetical situation, the towel that I would probably get rid of, and this is just because it's changed, my favorite obviously is the FTW. I would probably get rid of the diamond glass. Just because I feel like there's other ways to scrub, and I've got the FTW. I'm not finding that I use it as often. I think that the towel does a fantastic job. It's just, we've had a good show,
Yeah.
You think they're a pain in the glass. I got it.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope we don't get in trouble for doing that question.
Here. Blue color update.
I've been waiting for this one.
It's been my utility towel to wipe equipment down, dry out my buckets, etc. They've been great.
Cool.
Thank you, Joey. I'm happy to hear it. And for those of you who haven't tried the blue collars, they've been around for a minute. They're a really, really affordable towel. Like I looked on the site last I checked, they were $12 for like a 6-pack. So honestly, worth your time if you haven't tried them out. Give them a shot. Thank you for that update. All right, Jay's Car Channel. What do you guys use to get scratches out of the gauge cluster? Oh, those are terrible. I have used Plast X, but I'm sure some standard polish would work. Also, any reservations about polishing the gauge cluster by hand at all? Jay, I know what we've done in the past. However, it also required us, in some cases, to remove, and this is not something you do on a customer car. This is not something you do on anyone else's car.
Yeah.
This is purely on our project car. We removed the cluster from the car so that we could actually take an hybrid and polish it individually on a table carefully, and we're able to get a decent amount out using a combination of polishes. But Last Cut, go figure, Last Cut always likes to do a lot of work. It was like Hyper Polish, it was Last Cut, and it was like Micro Finish. There were a few different ones they tried using, and it did work, but that is just the worst. When I had my leased Toyota Tacoma, it had a fried gauge cluster, plastic clear window on it. Yeah. New. The truck was new, and it had that on. I couldn't believe it. It's so terrible. But Sid, go ahead. What do you got on that?
Really, there's a lot of polishes you can try. All the ones Dane just said work great. The Last Cut, Hyper Polish works great. The new Therapy from PNS works great. Now, when I say works great, do I mean it solves all the problems? Not usually. Honestly, not usually. It just depends on how bad they're scratched. So if we've got like an old BMW with a ton of scratches, you're probably not going to have that great of results. But like when my daughter bought her Jeep, it had a scratch across. I mean, it was brand new and it had a scratch across it. And I was able to take my Flex PXE 80 with the flexible shaft and kind of, get that out of there, and it came out just fine. But that was like one scratch. So it's something that you can go ahead and try, but always have your expectations very low, because plastic is just really hard to get scratches out. And if we think about it, on clear coat, when we're removing scratches, we're removing clear coat, and we're just visually taking away, we're not really removing the scratch. We're visually taking away the light reflect where we see the scratch.
You're like removing contrast so that you're making the surface as close to even as possible.
And plastic actually dents in that scratch. Yeah. And you're never going to be able to so unless it's like a very surface scratch, but if it's where, poor cleaning practices have happened and stuff, you may not get it out. So just have very realistic expectations. Do a test spot. But there's a lot of regular polishes that are going to work. Like you said, probably a Hyper Polish and Therapy are probably my two favorite. The Last Cut does a really great job. You just may want to go over it with something like Therapy or Hyper Polish to kind of rehydrate the plastic. But do a test spot and hope for the best. But it is a difficult thing to get, great.
If you see someone who doesn't know any better dry dusting their gauge cluster, stop them.
Yeah.
Like politely, but stop them for their own sake.
Yeah,
because they may not even know they're doing it.
because it's actually denting the plastic. And when we polish plastic, we're not removing it at the same rate
Right.
that we do on paint. And so it's probably not going to come completely out unless it's very surfacey.
And it accumulates over time. It's not something that happens instantly in the first pass. You might get like a single gouge if you have like a big chunk of rock or dust or something, but it's the effect of it all working together over time.
Yep.
Just sucks. You're eroding it. Boy, I'm glad you're there to help, Gabe. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Listen to this.
Wow.
Yeah, we're hearing something.
Oh my God.
There's definitely something going on there. Yeah.
This. What did I sign up for?
You volunteered on this one, so you have nobody to blame but yourself. DIY with Kane. Hello. Any plans to offer a flip style towel? Now that's fun, Kane, but actually, that's one of those ones where we really like Ian over at Autofiber. They have cool, innovative products, and like they already do something like that. That's awesome, and it's not really in our best interest to just straight up like copy somebody else's work.
Yeah.
Like that's something that he does, and that's great. Like sometimes those niches too can also be difficult to sell. Like if you are like an also-ran, you just pop in later doing the same thing somebody else did. What reason do people have to choose you over the thing they were already familiar with?
Yeah.
And even if, say, you like make a higher quality, you do something different to kind of innovate on it, some people may be game, but chances are when you're dealing with something as niche as that, the people who are already interested, and this is just speaking purely from a business proposition, the people who are already interested in that are going to be pretty loyal to the one who came out with it first. So I would say, out of respect, that's one of those things you definitely would follow there. But yeah, I don't see that happening necessarily. Now, I can't speak for the future. Like, I don't know what all everybody here's got going on. Maybe somebody's got an idea to do something about that would be interesting and different, but I haven't heard it personally. So that's just me telling you. But that would be my take on it.
Yeah.
If I'm running things. All right. Then I've got the hostile life. Your name always makes me so nervous. Why is your life so hostile? I don't understand it. Okay. No matter what I do, I can't stop the FTW towels from rolling on themselves when folded in force. Happens on paint and glass. Makes it frustrating to use. Is this user error or something else? Now, hostile. That is interesting because one of the reasons I love FTW towels so much is that they don't do that.
Yeah.
So all I can think is your surface just really contaminated? Is there a type of product you're using that somehow makes the surface, is it like more grippy when you're using certain products? Like what's going on here? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah. I don't usually have that too much of a problem. I have seen it like on sticky glass. Like sometimes if somebody's, their front windshield sticky, sometimes it might, grab a little bit. But generally speaking, I don't have that problem. Now, I'm also using them usually with like glass cleaner or a spray sealant or something like that. So help us maybe with what kind of products are you using it with? I've used them before doing polish removal. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that really comes back to the quality of the paint, surface. So, let us know what you're using it with, what product. But I don't usually have that too much problem.
No, and that's not to say like, oh, you're wrong or something.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen you do it. We don't understand like what your particular situation is that's causing this, because it really shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Unless there's just something we're missing here in terms of like the condition of the surface you're working on, or the products being used as like an intermediary between your towel and the surface you're working on.
Yeah.
There's something up there, and I'd like to know more. So, Hostel, please tell us everything about it, if you could, please. Carlos Miranda. Hey! Got Carlos Miranda here. Hello, guys. Good day to everyone. Right back at you, Carlos. And Jay's Car Channel with little feedback for Hostile Life. What chemical are you using them with? You may want to prime the towel with whatever you're using. Sure, TRC crew may have some suggestions as well.
Great advice.
Jay, you get it. So, that's the thing I would like to know as well. Look at this. We got the Meridian Marmot. Thumbs up for
Nice.
Marmots. Blue bead maker.
Yes.
Love for the blue bead maker.
I donated my blue bead maker.
I mean, were you ever the biggest fan of blue
No,
bead maker?
never. I
No,
was
you were not.
not a fan. No,
No, that was kind of Anthony's.
not a fan. I think it sits
baby.
on Lucas's desk now.
Ooh. That's getting a little old by now. I mean, when did that come out again?
Oh
That
my
was
gosh,
like
that had to have been like 2019.
2019, 2020, somewhere right around there.
I think it was probably 19. I'm gonna guess July,
Yeah.
because it was for 4th of July, right?
Right.
Yeah, I do
Yes,
think it was
that
2019.
Man, that was a minute ago.
Yeah,
So weird to think that we've been
Yeah.
solidly in the 2020s for a while now.
yeah.
We're halfway through them. Joey Belinsky, I take my sponge/wash mitt out before I soak towels in the wash bucket. Gotta keep it pure. Hashtag Anthony approved.
Me too. Me too. And then, going back, that was for juice. I mean, do it whatever works for you. I think maybe some of us are just a little bit OCD, but I don't think I could soak them together, but I'm sure it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, I would take mine out as well.
Let's see. What's Forrest Gainey here saying?
Oh, Sydney, what are your favorite pads to use with rehab? So the maroon Buff and Shine, and then the blueberry from Buff and Shine, and probably one of my latest favorite is what I call the Oreo pad, which is the black and white blended Eurofiber microfiber pad.
Yeah, it's like
Love
salt
it.
and pepper.
Yeah,
Or cookies
yeah,
and
it's
cream. Depending on how
awesome.
you want to look at it.
Yeah, yep. Some people call it salt and pepper. I call it Oreo. It's funny. Somebody was asking me the other day. They go, "How do I?" I responded to somebody, and they said, "How do I find the Oreo pad?" And I was like, "Well, don't search Oreo because I think I might have made that up. So it's actually called the Eurofiber."
I mean,
pad.
they should
Yeah.
just put like a little like alt text or somewhere
Right,
on there for
yeah.
SEO purposes.
Yeah, yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
go,
Yeah,
Oreo
the
pad.
Oreo
You might as
pad.
well be the one who shows up when you search that.
Yeah, we'll have to put that on the TRC website so that it
Makes
just
sense.
comes here.
Thanks, Forrest. Jay's Car Channel.
nice.
Oh, with a super chat. Hey, look at that. $9.99 for Jay's Car Channel. Shout out super chats and ice cream. You know what, Jay? Thank you so much. That's very generous. We certainly don't expect you guys to do that, but we love it if you do, if you feel so inclined. And yeah, I think an ice cream party would be pretty fun. So if we can do that, that would be awesome. Now, I got DIY with Kane. Any plans to offer the USS in other colors? The black color is the only downside. Love the sponge. Now, Kane, I don't know if you have any experience with the USS, but we actually kind of deliberately made the USS lighter than the ultra black sponge that it essentially replaced. Because if you notice with the ultra black sponge, yes, a lot of people might complain, oh, I can't see like the dirt or I can't see the whatever that's on there. Okay, heard. So when we had previous colors, we thought, well, we like the neutral look because a lot of people have like theme shops and stuff, so it's better to keep it neutral.
Yeah.
We thought like a battleship gray made kind of sense, so we went that route where when I came up with the name, the Ultra Safe Sponge for the acronym, the USS, I was kind of like a nod to, big battleships and stuff like that. That seem dorky, but that's how I'm thinking about that stuff. Anyway, the point was it's gray, not black.
Yeah.
So you are able to see more stuff going on with it. If you haven't actually seen one in person, it is different than the Ultra Black Sponge. I just want to point that out.
And I think my issue with the colors is if we go back to, the big red sponge from back in the day, it always looked so dirty and it always got stained. So
And
I've always
it would
really
look so dingy. It would turn like this kind of brownish
right.
maroon
And then if you tried
over
to strip it, it would
time.
turn orange. And so I like the black and gray.
So it's neutral, but it does allow you to see stuff if it's any color other than gray.
Yeah.
All right. Next up down the line. Okay. I am moving another page. Let's see what happens. That's where I'm at, page 5. Okay, so Alex Dewar with a special shout out to Armor Wheel and Tire Combo.
Heck yeah.
Holy moly. Yes.
No joke.
ADS products are rad. Juice Free. I just like propagate the war between soap and rinseless to ultimately make TRC more money. Oh, you
Well, there you
devious
go. person,
Juice. You devious person. Well, can't stop you. You're a free guy. You can do what you want. David Cervantes here. Dane, I just got my truck back today.
Nice.
That's great. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. So hopefully it drives like it should. You don't have any weird issues. No clicks, no knocks, nothing like that. Speaking of which, I'll knock on wood for you. No, his truck got bonked by another vehicle and he had to repair it.
What?
So, yeah.
That's the worst.
So I'm glad it's all fixed
sorry,
now, though.
David.
So Iced Out Detailing, LLC. Oh, man. Hope we see an interior detail soon. I had to deal with a seasonal Camaro, and a vole left a not-so-fortunate surprise. A vole. I haven't heard one of those in a minute.
Yeah. You know what we need to look
Yeah.
for? Because I know everyone keeps asking for interior details on these Q&As, and I think it would be great.
Mm-hmm.
But what we need to look for is like a convertible.
Yes, because
so that the cameras
it's so
are
that the
above and you
cameras can see inside.
Because it is hard to get inside, like if we were detailing this truck, it's hard to get the camera angles and to follow them. And so we just need to look for like a convertible.
And apart from like Glenn, who has the Jeep Wrangler,
Right.
I'm the one with the convertible here.
Yeah.
But the problem is my interior is totally
Right.
black.
Yeah.
And also, I don't
Well,
let the
and
Miata
that would
get
be
that
like a
dirty
20
inside.
minute. Yeah, it would be a 20-minute
And it's tiny.
Q&A.
It's so
Yeah.
tiny.
Yeah.
You'd be done with it
So
in
tiny.
the first 15
Shane's
minutes.
got a Bronco, but again, it's not that dirty.
That's true. He does have the Bronco. You could do that.
Yeah.
But they're not that dirty. That's the issue.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's actually got to like eat
Yeah.
some French fries, get it dry. The vehicles that get dirty tend to have fixed roofs.
Yep.
So
Maybe I can get us a dealership
Yeah.
car.
And kids' car
you know
seats
what
in the
though?
back. Yeah.
It's something we will try and work
Yeah.
on. Okay. Because I do. I keep hearing you guys mention that. So clearly there's a hunger for it. We gotta try at least.
Yep.
Dino, oh man, it's been a minute since I saw you around.
Yeah.
Happy to see you. Hey, what's up, fam? He says. Glad to have you here. Joey, also noticing that chat is popping today. Click that
Yeah.
like button.
Who's
By the
in
way,
first place so far?
yeah, who's on first?
Yeah.
Abbott Costello routine. Yeah, let's do that. Anyway, if you have not hit that like button, please do so. It helps us out in the algorithm and keeps this train rolling. And I've been keeping track of the metrics. I'm in charge. If these Q&As do well and they keep growing, then I'm on the good list. If they don't, then I'm on the naughty list and I got to answer for my crimes. So
Yeah.
please keep me on the good list. All right, next up, I've got Juice, who's super happy for Rinseless Gang.
Yeah, that's me all the way.
Yes. And then Wise Guy saying, what is he doing? Probably referring to Gabe, although Gabe has been very good at describing exactly what his
washing a
process has been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole point is he's doing a detail while we answer your questions.
Yeah.
This is kind of like when people are like giving life advice
yeah.
while in a split screen,
Yeah.
somebody's playing Subway Surfers on
Right.
the other half.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
This is meant to kind of be that because I love you guys and I
Yeah.
trust most of you, but hey, some of you guys have kind of short attention spans, so we kind of gotta bridge the divide. So
Yeah.
we're trying to make Q&A a little more compelling by doing this.
Yeah, I like it because I think they can actually see what he's doing better.
Yeah.
Than when it's just behind us. I think I like this.
Well, and the addition of
Yeah.
the PTZs, the
Oh,
robot
yeah.
cameras above
Oh, yeah, for
everything, has really changed the game
Yeah,
for us. We
for
love
sure.
having those. They really upgraded our Tier SEMA experience this year.
Yeah.
The Hostel Life. I use them with glass cleaner, O&R, exterior detailer. Happens
Weird.
all the same.
That is really interesting.
Okay, so the surface of the vehicle, is it really contaminated and you haven't decontaminated it yet? That's all I can think
That
of.
is so strange. And let me ask you this question then, are your towels clogged maybe? Like maybe, give them a good 24-hour soak in some rags to riches and see if that doesn't change the surface of the towel. That would be the only thing I would wonder is if it's clogged, as we call it,
Okay.
if it's moving over the surface too fast that it's not really absorbing anything and maybe pressure and stuff. So that's my next question is, could they potentially be clogged? And maybe let's try soaking them and see if something didn't at some point get on them. It happens all the time in my washer
Sure.
and dryer. My kids will throw a regular towel in there, or they'll put fabric softener or whatever. So maybe a good soak and a reset on them might help.
Yeah, no, Hostel, we're definitely trying to help you. It's
Yeah.
just, it's odd because
Yeah.
that isn't something that should be happening like that. Especially if
Yeah.
you're using like O&R and stuff, that should just be cruising. You should be gliding. So maybe the glass cleaner, I have run into some glass cleaners that can dissipate or evaporate really quickly and the flash off and you're left with just the surface and you wind up grabbing more. But
Now-
an FTW is meant to
Yeah.
counteract that. It's not like the other glass towels that are more
Right.
grippy. FTW
Yeah.
should be gliding.
And the only thing that I did see that we didn't say, but I saw it in the comments that was such a great tip, is to prime your towel with whatever you're using.
Yes.
So even when you're doing like a rinseless wash with O&R and you're about to start drying, I always prime my towel with, my spray bottle of well, I use Absolute, but I prime it with that, and you'd be amazed at how much better the towels work. So I think that's a tip that we didn't say that I think is absolutely excellent, that it's more of a habit. I don't realize I do that, but I always prime, whether it be the glass cleaner or the rinseless
that goes
wash
for
or
most products in most
Defender
situations.
or whatever. I always prime that towel with the product I'm using it with, so that could be a tip too to try.
Yeah, because going in just like raw dogging with a dry towel and spraying the surface, you're going to get a very different experience than if you actually handle the towel first. You spritz it with your product, and you can add a little on the surface. Mainly when we used to talk about like spraying the towel instead of the surface, it's because you didn't want to make a mess. And we were trying to talk to you about how you can avoid that. But if you're using the kind of product like on the exterior of a vehicle and you're doing that, you can spray on the surface and your towel, and it's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
So, just increase lubrication. Alex Dewar. When Gabe told me he bought a new car, I was excited. It might have been a Volkswagen. Oh, he'd never do that. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Alex.
I thought he was going to give it away.
Yeah, no, he's
I don't know. I feel like Alex and Joey, they know.
Yeah.
They like knowing the secrets,
they won't
They won't
me.
give it away. Yeah, they won't dane you. That was so
I do
funny.
that once, and then these guys just treat it like it's the Then the only reason I did it wasn't to blow up somebody's spot. I'm not even going to get into the whole thing. Jeez, so stupid. 2.0. Any idea when we might see Built Hamburg coming in? Well, you can keep an eye on the Obsessed Garage end of things, and that's how you might end up seeing those finding their way into our storefronts or on the Amazon. Keep an eye out for that stuff.
Wait, no, they're not. Soon. Soon to be, hopefully.
That's what I'm alluding to.
Yeah. No, I picked up on that way too late, Dane. My bad.
Yes. Okay, so next up, I've got Joey Belinsky saying, I pulled a Gabe this weekend and sprayed tire dressing when I thought I grabbed the Amplify bottle. Yes, so there we go. We're even now. And on that note, we are actually at halftime. So I'm going to pop these comments off the screen briefly, and we are going to cut over to some quick little messages from our friends. Make sure you hit that like button here while you're hanging out. Get your snacks, get your drinks, and we'll meet you back here in the same spot. Don't go too far. Come right back here in just a few minutes. We'll see you in a few.
Hey guys, Josh with the Rag
Company.
I thought I was going first.
I thought I was going first.
We'll take it.
All right, Josh is from the Rag Company here to tell you about the business program.
You can save up to 25% off different products that we have here at the Rag Company, including savings like Detail Factory,
IK
sprayers, and many others.
Whether it's pads, polishes, compounds, polishers, we got it all. Chemicals.
We have everything you would need to save you some money so you can start putting more money in your pocket by buying products through our business program.
So whether you're a shop-based business, a mobile detailer, or just running a side hustle out of your garage, please check out the business program.
And you get free shipping on orders over $150.
It's a pretty great deal.
That is a great deal.
The Rag Company Business Program is for bulk purchase end users only. No tax exemptions unless previously grandfathered in. Discounts apply to eligible products only. Exclusions may apply. Check product listings for details. Minimum order of $150 required to qualify for these discounts. Some brands, tools, or specialty items may not be included. Pricing is subject to change without notice. Visit theragcompany.com/biz to start your application. Act now, stock up, and save big while it lasts.
Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Q&A Thursday here at the Rag Company YouTube channel. Of course, I'm Dane Hennon, your host, and to my left, the wonderful Sydney Bragwin joins us. And across the way, we've got Gabriel Garcia, yes, Gabe himself, washing this beast of a Dodge Ram 3500.
It's taken some time, seriously.
Well, you're prepping it for coating, right? So pretend that people who are popping in here at the halfway point haven't seen any of the other stuff you've done. Give us a quick refresher, and I do emphasize quick because we got a lot of questions.
All right, so basically, Dane's right. We're doing a wash, but we're doing what's called a decontamination wash, meaning we're seeping into the pores. So we used Armor detailing products for the wheels and tires. We used Koshemi Active Foam for our dwell wash. So this was our initial foam just to break down any large contamination. Then we hit it with Ferrex to do any fallout on the lower rocker panels, as well as fenders and your rear tailgate area, anywhere where you're gonna get the most contamination for fallout. That's what we hit with this. We rinsed, and then we hit it to do our contact wash with GSF. Then I'm actually respraying different parts of the truck with GSF, and I'm going over it with my clay scrubber. And then what I'm going to do is dry it with the brand new M22, which is now available right here on the Rag Company site, so ragcompany.com. Then I'm going to finish it off with P&S products. I'm going to go True View for the glass. I'm not going to use Reflect because Reflect has some SiO2 properties, and we are going to coat the windows, so we don't want to do that. And then I'm going to hit Dynamic for the fender wells, the tires, and the wheel faces.
Nice. You've done a full range coverage today. I really love it. So you didn't stick to any one brand.
No, the goal is, if you follow us also on TikTok, Carson and I do a lot of live streams where we talk about processes and how to use our products. And I really like to mix up and make a variation of products. That way you guys can see these products in action. They're all awesome.
Oh, thank you, Gabe. And I do emphasize, when it comes to the product lines we carry at the Rag Company, there's a reason we carry them. It's because they've been vetted. The guys here approve of them. That's why we carry it. So when people ask, like, well, what do you like? What do you like best? Or like, what brands do you think you should carry? It's like, well, we carry it because we like it. We don't just like carry it and then decide, oh, I guess it's okay. Like, that's not our approach at all. There's a long vetting process, and people in the comments here can attest to that.
It's one of those
Some
situations.
of them are people who are carried by us, and they know it took a while.
Yeah, and different chemicals also react differently, and it's just figuring out which ones you want to use that day as well. I mean, sometimes that happens. So it's just a wide variety, but so I'm in the claying process. I still need to get the passenger side of the hood, and I need to get the roof. I am using a stool, which I haven't talked about much, but I kind of want to promote it. This is this is a Yellow Tool stool. You can get this at the Rag Company. This is actually a really sweet stool because its design is meant so that this piece right here is rubber. So if you push it up against a car, it's not going to mess it up. But furthermore, if a door is open, it actually comes in a little bit into the car. So when you're stepping up, it's like you're stepping over. In this truck, it's kind of a bad example because this is a ridiculously huge vehicle, but really great product. So that was one of the product I wanted to highlight. But yeah, back to you guys. I'm going to get back to washing.
All right, you do your thing, Gabe. Thank you for the update. Now, let's get to some of these questions. I really like this one here from Al. Super Auto. Gabe should buy a really rough Nissan Altima, then follow Anthony's Raptor around and uncomfortably close. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah,
would be
I totally
pretty funny.
would.
Just tailgate him everywhere with like a super dented panels mismatched Altima. Yes.
I would call Carson and I would say, hey, what are you doing this weekend? And we would just drive past his house multiple times and then see him text in the group chat, guys, this car keeps stalking me.
Yeah, just have it lurk outside, make him nervous.
Yeah, that's so funny.
There's just an Altima. Like, try and dress yourself like the seat so you just blend in so it just looks like a driverless car. It's just an Altima that became sentient. Now it's following him around.
Just wear like a dark blue sweatshirt and, don't tell him.
You'll probably get Neighborhood Watch called on. You got to look out for that. All right, next up. People are laughing. Joey Belinsky. I have some Built Hamburg arriving today. Nice. Pretty stoked to try out some new stuff. Built, it's excellent. Great products.
Joey has become a real OG boy, fanboy.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's
right?
pretty
For a guy
amazing,
who was a
the
hater.
transformation.
He makes one steak with the guy, and all of a sudden he's buying all of his products.
Yeah.
To Joey's credit, like that shows growth, and actually like he's not just being a follower, he still very much has his own opinions about stuff, but he's willing to try it, and I love that. So Joey, good on you, man. All right, we got Neil White popping in here. Happy to see you, Neil. Happy Friday Eve to Dane, Sydney, and Gabe. And FYI, Sydney's name is spelled Sydni, and I only say that because
all these guys have been
she's
trained.
told me many times that her name gets misspelled all kinds of creative ways.
Yes. Yep.
And then immediately 2 seconds later, He spells it differently, correctly, in
There
fact.
you go.
So he figured it out. He
Way
knew.
to redeem
Neil,
yourself.
You redeemed yourself. What's he saying?
Sydney, have you ever had to deal with a nasty interior detail before, aka puke? Oh, yes. And I know that we joke about how I am such a diva now and I don't like to do dirty cars, which is totally true. But trust me when I say I put in about 10 years on absolutely nasty, nasty, nasty details.
Blech.
And I still get them every now and then. I know we joke and stuff, but I mean, I still get nasty interiors. Yes, I have had to clean up a lot of puke.
I'm wondering when I'm gonna get out of my nasty era. Because
Yeah.
Your puke phase.
Yeah.
No, it's just
Yeah.
they're the worst.
Yeah. I remember one time, and this was before I knew how to say no.
Yeah.
I had a family that came to me. This had to have been like 2014 because I'm thinking of which house I lived in. So 2014,
11 years ago.
Yeah. So I had this lady call, and she said, and their cars were always very clean. And she called and said, it was a Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock. And she said, hey, this is so-and-so. We're on our way home from McCall. And we took our nephews to McCall with us this weekend. And they both threw up in the back of the Tacoma. And so we're just going to go ahead and drop it off at your house on our way through Hidden Springs.
What?
With a straight face.
Oh.
So we're just going to go ahead and drop it off.
Very
at your house on a Sunday
respectful.
afternoon. It was disgusting.
no.
It was disgusting. Yeah.
I
So
like to
yes,
think-
Neil, I've totally put in the time.
Probably got roasted.
There are,
That was-
there are like three kinds of detail customers.
Yeah.
One is the one who only thinks of detailing when something
Right.
gets puked on
Yeah.
or something is like rotting inside the vehicle and they suddenly think, I guess I should
Yeah.
get this cleaned. Oh,
Yeah.
right, detailers exist. I should
Right.
go talk to one.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number
Yeah.
two, the person who already is familiar with detailing but is too afraid
Yeah.
to try it themselves, they want to go to somebody else, somebody they
Yeah.
trust, an expert, and they'll do it. And then they're like, oh, it's pretty dirty. Look out. And then the detailer who's going to do the work looks at it and goes,
Yeah.
this is the cleanest car I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
what do you expect me to detail here?
Right.
That's another customer. The
Which
third
is most of
customer,
my days,
The
yeah.
third customer is somebody who's kind of in the middle, but they
Yeah.
were given like a gift certificate,
Yeah.
and so they don't
Yeah.
think about detailing, but suddenly they're like, oh, I better use this, and then they discover detailing.
Yep.
At least that's what I like to imagine those three are. All right, next up, Jay's Car Channel weighing in on Built Hamburg saying Surfx HD is legit.
Cool.
Okay, a lot of love there, and love for Built Hamburg Traceless. Traceless is like a nuke. Traceless is intense, and I like it.
Yeah.
Based.
Yeah.
That stuff is nuts.
Yeah.
It doesn't streak, but it just, you know, you use a solvent and it just disappears.
Yeah.
That's essentially what that does.
I think I ordered some through some secret channels, so someday I'll get to try it. But I have tried it here, and yes, it's very good stuff. Very good stuff.
I don't know what this is in reply to, but Ryan says, lol, no competition. Dane just messing around. Gabe, stay safe up there. It's slick.
Goodness
I do not
gracious.
need you getting into a workers' comp situation.
Yeah, right?
So freaking tough. You could park an ATV
Okay.
up here.
Definitely don't do
But
that
it
because you're
has
just going to wind up
soap on
sliding
it. Yeah,
or
it
rolling an
has soap
ankle or
on it.
something.
Oh no, guys, look at this.
Or you could just not do that. How about that?
But Gabe,
It's like
if it's slick enough
it's
to be
really
using,
grippy.
Yeah, but if it's slick, if the soap is slick enough to be using a clay scrubber, you shouldn't be dancing on it.
This
Oh,
is
but I
like the beginning of a
yeah.
low-budget Final Destination movie.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along. I've got 2.0 saying, I keep buying glass cleaners to try, but I have BH Traceless, that's Built Hamburg, and I love it. I use it as a nuke. See, there it is again. Did you get it from your bestie? Okay,
Yes.
So, yeah, if you aren't familiar with Built Hamburg stuff, it is great. Definitely recommend. Juice free. I just hit the like button, and now I
Look
look
at
down
that.
on all of you
Oh, my
who
goodness.
haven't. Shame on you.
Shame.
So if you
I
haven't
love public
hit
shaming.
that like button
Go
yet,
hit the like button.
just do it. It's not that hard. We'll wait. Okay, good. So now that that's done, moving along, I've got Alex Dewar here. What's he saying?
Oh gosh.
Saw a new matte Cooper color Santa Fe the other day.
Oh, copper,
The-
yeah.
Oh, copper. How come I can't read? I was thinking like Mini
Your
Cooper.
Mini
You know why?
Cooper.
It's because I loaned him my Mini Cooper, so my brain read Cooper. So saw the new matte copper color Santa Fe the other day. The door had a shiny spot where the hand touches to close the door. No longer matte and forever ruined. I couldn't handle matte. It would be really stressful. for all my customers that get matte cars, I try to coat them right away so that nothing is actually touching that paint. But that is really difficult.
Frozen matte finishes are tough, but I do like that matte copper color. It looks great.
It looks
At least in
amazing.
pictures, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks amazing. But I can only imagine what they look like up close. Yeah.
I have seen one in person, and it does look fantastic. But he's right. Yeah, the second you see any like high traction, high traffic areas, your fingerprint stuff like that, it is instantly shiny, which unusually
gotta coat them right away.
is not the point. Jeff C. I was skeptical, but Foam NR is making me a believer. That's right. New foaming rinseless from Optimum. Great cleaning power, cuts through diesel soot, and helps keep the sponge look cleaner like Hero would.
Nice.
I like to foam it, then wash with Blue ONR.
There you go. That makes more sense to me. I've never understood the foaming rinseless, but that, your last sentence, Jeff, makes sense.
You can use it for the first step of your dwell, but we did use it kind of in conjunction as far as the comparison between Built, and honestly, they're pretty neck and neck.
Really?
Yeah, that's a sleeper product right there. So for those of you who absolutely love Built, try Optimum.
Okay.
No, the foaming rinseless is actually super solid. It is a good product, and
I'll
it does
try it.
have power to it, so it's fun.
Okay,
It's
I'll try
pretty dang good. I'm telling you, Optimum, fantastic brand that we sleep on sometimes. And
But it only took people asking for years and years and years and decades even.
Right.
Can you make one that foams? Because it would actively reject even a hint of foam. But it's worth it in the end just for somebody who's too scared of a regular rinseless because they don't like the watery nature of it. They need to see foam happening to feel like they're cleaning
There's the
something.
Foam and R, and then there's that Decon foam soap. Awesome. I'm telling you, it is awesome. And then revisit, if you're someone who's looking at lines and you're trying to think about what products do I want to try similarly to what we're doing today, revisit the OptiCoat line. This line is amazing. I'm telling you. The one that I really want to go back to and start using is Hyperseal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hyperseal's really good, and so is the yellow ONR.
Yes.
It smells
The yellow,
so good.
It's so slick.
Yeah, and it smells so good. Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, revisit it. That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
No, definitely a good idea. So I got JD here. Boy, we got to get through some comments here, folks.
All right.
JD is saying, what's going on with Koshemi Topstar? It's out everywhere.
It's
Distribution issue?
Yeah, that they're Kosh is working on it.
So they are working on it. Okay, well, that's the best answer we can hope for right now. Hopefully, in the meantime, Gabe, would you offer some suggestions to alternatives if somebody was looking for something they could use right now? An alternative to Topstar, just for the time being.
Ooh, are we talking? Let me throw it back to them. Do you want an alternative within the Kosh brand, or do you want an alternative with something else?
I'm thinking of like broadly, something we would carry, but something outside the Kosh range if it's not available. While you think about that, I'm going to get to the next question.
I need to think about that.
We'll get back to you. Don't worry. Berto here saying, yes, Traceless is a nuke on glass, Kevin. That is right. Boy, we have some comments to get to. Holy cow. I got 5 pages. Hi, guys. This is Mobile Wash and Detailing. Can you recommend a car wash shampoo that strips away old waxes and sealants to prepare a vehicle for coatings? Cheers. Wow. You asked a great question, Mobile Wash and Detailing. This is something we literally just did today because this truck is being washed with the intent to coat it.
And there's a lot of good answers.
So he just wants to know, what do you recommend for a shampoo that strips away old waxes and sealants? It's almost like we should tell him Active Foam, and he can just have some fun with that.
Yeah, Active Foam. Wear gloves. Use that as your first initial, and then what I like to do is I like to hit it with a pH neutral soap after the fact. So I'll do Active Foam, use some sort of iron remover in between, hit it to pH neutralize everything, and then go into your clay process.
Because Active Foam is deliberately not a pH neutral soap. It's meant to help break down crud on the surface. So if you're wondering, it's that white, yellow, and gray bottle you see on the cart there. And that is made by Koshemi. So if you look in our lineup at theradcompany.com, you can find it there.
And it smells good.
Highly recommend. And if you watch back earlier, you can see our reaction as the smell like wafts over.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
It's kind of dangerous how good it smells. All right. fine detailing. What's fine saying?
Yes, intervention is actually great. For a heavy cut, we had a great correction with minimal micro-marring. I'm waiting to publish my next video until it's in stock. Man, hopefully it's only a couple more weeks.
Okay. Well, here's hoping, Ryan. Jay's Car Channel. Notice the same about Topstar, and that's a damn fine product. I agree, Jay. So, yeah, hopefully that can be resolved soon. But for the meantime, yeah, they're going to be out for a minute. When Gabe thinks of a alternative, he'll let you know.
Thinking about that. Because Topstar is really good.
It is very good. Joey Belinsky.
I agree.
Are crazy for not using ADS irons solely for indoor washes. Should be illegal to use anything else. You know what, though? While that is true, ADS iron is excellent if you're in a small enclosed space and you don't want to smell the wonderful rotten egg smell, that sulfury smell that every other iron kind of decontaminator smells like. ADS iron is great for that. However, I will say that Ferrex he used earlier, while we did smell it, it was way less strong than it used to be. Like,
for sure.
It
and
had
I don't
been
still
improved
smell it.
majorly.
So it like
and
once
now
it was
it's
done,
gone.
once it was done being rinsed,
not since before the ad break. Even.
Right. So I take back my shade from the beginning.
So we when we saw it, it had been a while since I'd been exposed to it because I just used so many other products.
Yeah.
Going back to it, I was nervous, but actually, super solid. I would easily recommend it now. Peter Coronage saying, which product can I use on the plastic cowl where the wipers are? That would be like the windshield reservoir kind of cap.
Yeah.
Also, best way to get in there. It's a pain in the butt without hitting windshield. Okay.
Yeah. So what do you think? What kind of product? I'm guessing he's going to mean like to rehydrate it or
I use Solution Finish.
Yeah,
on
I would
mine.
use Solution Finish. I would stay tuned the next couple weeks. I think there's some cool stuff coming out.
You can say it.
No,
right?
because Armor's already revealed it to your SEMA.
So Armor, the trim ceramic is pretty cool.
The question that I ask, is it a restore or is it a rejuvenation? Because if it's a
because
rejuvenation,
I just use...
You could use dynamic or any type of dressing on a applicator.
Right. Or
That's
even any
one-off.
ceramic. Honestly, I take old ceramic bottles that I just have a little bit left, and I'll just use ceramic, and it does a great job. And then for what you can use, I usually use like a small applicator. Another good thing to get that I like for that area is like those foam paint brushes, especially if I'm doing when I use it with the coating.
Oh, yeah.
Is I'll get those foam paint brushes because then I just throw them away. They're like 99 cents.
Yeah, totally.
But those you can the reason I like them is because you can shove that tip of the foam paintbrush underneath the wiper so that you don't have like big splotches that you miss. And then you can trim along that windshield and stuff. So try the foam paintbrushes.
So you can either get those on Amazon or you can go down to like your local craft store like Michael's or something.
Or even
and
Walmart
get them.
in the craft
Walmart
section.
even has them,
And then like Gabe said, you can use a dressing or you can use a ceramic. But I think here is going to be your tool is what's going to make you the most happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike G reporting back again from Hawaii saying, morning here in Oahu. About to head out for the day and wish all of you well. Thank you, Mike G. We hope you have a fantastic time while you're out there in Oahu.
You know what I just realized too? Detail Factory just made foam brushes.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot.
Come
you guys.
Come on.
Detail Factory just came out with the foam brushes. You don't have to get the cheap ones if you don't want them.
No, you're set. All right.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
This engine bay is.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, you're wading into some deep waters there, buddy.
Oh, guys, this isn't bad at all.
Well, I'm just saying that hood is almost as tall as you are, so.
Yeah. Well, you may as well clean it now that you're up in there.
Yeah, you already did it. Get that step ready.
Yeah, I figured
then
if we're going to do this
some
truck,
Motorplast. There you go.
Yeah,
I love
baby.
some Motorplast.
Honestly,
I'm
any
gonna
excuse to use Motorplast, and I'm happy about
you don't
it.
have to tell me twice, sister.
Love that. All right, Mike G, have fun out there in Hawaii,
Yes.
or Oahu more specifically. Now, Dino here. Is this the right time to ask if we can foam Gabe? I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably not, although I like the spirit, and I want you to continue with that idea.
It is a great spirit. Gabe has a long drive tonight, so it's probably not going to happen today.
No. He'd be real
Mrs.
itchy
Carson
on that
probably
drive.
going back to the natural finish comment.
Yeah,
for
probably.
Gabe. This
All right.
guy.
All right, I think I've got an answer.
Wow, look at
for the top star?
Yeah, so my answer would probably be this. If I'm going over plastic and I'm not doing, Top Star is a plastic protectant care. Natural finish, baby.
I knew
dynamic.
it.
I'm trying, but I am genuinely trying. That's why it took me a long time, because it's tough to think of an alternative dressing, and that is not PNS outside the kosher realm. To be honest, I'm really trying to think about something else. I don't know. Would you?
I'll give you that.
You know, I've been experimenting with PSS on plastic and trim and all. All of that.
PSS is really good.
It's really good. You could use it on leather too. I mean, it actually does work pretty good.
Yeah, because
Question is, how long will it hold up on there?
That I don't know, but I use it to dress like rubber, like the weather stripping. It's so good.
Yeah, I do. To be honest, and this sounds ridiculous. This sounds really ridiculous, and I might get roasted in the comments. So what I do is, if I'm doing a car, most of our cars are leather, I'll use leather treatment.
Yeah.
Then I'll go back and I'll actually hit it with, I'll hit the rubbers and jams with leather treatment just to keep them moisturized.
Sure.
Top Star's a really great product. Obviously, Gumi Fix for your rubber mats. You could use Gumi Fix for rubber mats as
Great
well.
product.
But as far as the plastic, that's a really tough one outside of that. So that's why I'm struggling here. Dynamic too, I guess. So I don't know. I'm just a guy.
That's all right. Oh boy, David Boyce here.
Yeah.
Sydney and Danimal.
Danimal.
Oh my
I
he's
like
calling
that.
me Danimal.
Danimal. I love
I'm
it.
experiencing fluttering foam coming out of my IK2 e-foamer. It's filled halfway up. How much pH neutral soap is typically added to the bottle? How do you like to use it?
I mean, I usually fill mine probably more than it should be, but my first thought here is that you might have too high a concentration of your soap in there, because it really shouldn't be fluttering. It should be kind of coming out, nice. So I would say add a little bit of water and see, because you can definitely fill it over halfway. I do it probably 3/4 of the way.
Yeah.
So I would just go ahead and add some water and see how you feel. But to me, it sounds like maybe the soap concentration is too high.
Yeah, because if you're leaving enough space for air in there, then that's not the issue.
Yeah.
So it comes down to your dilution.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a lot of people will, mix up too much product with the water. They don't realize it doesn't take as much as you probably think to get good foam.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull out a new... I don't know if I
What are you
should say
pulling
it.
out back there? He's getting something.
I'm going to
Anyway.
pull out a new ADS
Alex
project.
trying to send some love.
Oh, I see. Alex Dewar is saying Iron Buster
may not
scent
have
is
it.
fine, all
fine.
things considered.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fine.
Juice free. Alex just drive me home after taco night. I got you. Okay. I feel like these conversations are just way off base. Super Auto, has TRC ever had chenille pads versus chenille mitts? I know you can tuck the cuff in, but they never stay. There was a time when we actually had a chenille dog bone
That was
sponge.
my favorite.
That thing was great. I
loved
loved
the
that thing.
chenille
It was
dog
good
bone.
on grills and stuff like that. I really
loved
liked
the
those.
dog bone. That was my favorite.
But it was definitely one of those where people, I don't know, people just don't get excited about those for whatever reason. So when stuff's a slow seller and you just go through stock slowly.
I think it's probably just because the visual you recognize every time you've walked into an AutoZone.
And I was going to say,
so you kind of
chenille.
correlate it with that.
It has that
But-
unfortunate
but they're
impact of
so
like
good. I
people
love
see
the
them and
dog bone.
think that they're
Yeah.
like cheap and crappy
Yeah.
when actually
Yeah.
there are good
They're
ones.
really good,
They really
yeah.
are good ones.
Yep.
So, yeah. Why so serious? Details. What's everyone's go-to water spot remover product?
Can my answer not be one that's carried by TRC?
No, go for it.
It's
The show's
CCI
open to
water-
everybody.
Yeah, CCI water spot remover gel is great.
There you go.
That's kind of my go-to. PNS has one, and it's really, really good. It's just impossible to get. So,
And I will say,
know.
depending on how fresh the water spots are, I am a fan of FSC, Finished Spray Exterior from Koch. That is a good product for that kind of thing. But that's if the water spots are recent.
Yeah.
It's designed to be, because this is kind of unusual, it's designed to be a
Right.
quick detailer
Yeah.
that has
Right.
a hard water spot remover element to it. So you can actually just wipe it off. You don't need to neutralize it
Yeah.
afterwards. That's pretty appealing. That's nice in a pinch.
Yeah.
But for like a standard water spot remover, G-Tech's got one. There's other ones like that you can use
oh
if
yeah,
you
the
like.
G-Tech one's really
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got options. And you can even get them here at the Rat Company. Just saying. All right. 2.0. I know about the Rupa's wool. Oh, yes. So we already covered that earlier. But Rupa's redesigned the blue pads, and they will be coming back in stock later. Okay. Now I've got Crone saying, "What's up?" Hey, Crone. Happy to have you here, bud.
It's crazy. He's foaming over his tools.
You know what? That's a choice.
Interesting.
That's an interesting choice. You know what? Okay. Let him do his thing.
We don't judge here, Gabe. We
That's
don't
right.
judge.
Well, we judge. We just might not verbalize it.
Yeah.
We're totally gonna judge.
It just came out of a bucket of soap, so.
Yeah. So it's just the same, but different.
You were just preloading. I get it.
Right.
Yeah. See.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well, he was priming the brush.
Yeah.
He just happened to prime the handle while he was at it.
Dane, don't make me laugh while I'm in high places.
Suddenly you're scared when you're standing there, but you weren't when you were
Right.
standing way higher on the
metal
back
with
of that
soap
thing
on
on
it,
metal.
yeah.
Soap.
It was literally a platform.
It was diamond plate. That thing was so slick looking.
Yeah.
I want
Jeez.
everyone to notice how I didn't spray direct into everything, because I know
We
that
did notice that.
I know that
We did.
engine bays is always a touchy subject and point of talk for detailers, so I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a classic big boy Cummins diesel. They're pretty tough, so I don't think you have to worry too much.
They're
there.
not a Toyota there, Dane.
The Cummins has a whole life of its own. People are big fans of them as an engine, separately from the vehicles they're put into.
Yeah.
All right, David Boyce. But Lucas, why the sputtering foam? Because it fills with air, then stops. I go to foam, and I'm getting such a weak sputtering stream. Okay, help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only
Interesting.
hope.
I wonder if you got like a bum one.
That would be interesting if like the pickup tube was having an issue, or there was some issue with the actual.
Yeah, maybe try a
foam
reset.
element.
Maybe like take everything apart, clean it, put it back together, make sure that everything's, like make sure the pickup tube's on there right and everything.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony, on our FAQ channel, he had that full disassembly video. That can apply to pretty much any IK product. You can follow his steps there.
Yeah, because I mean, I've had the foam sputtering out of the ones you have to pump yourself, and it's because you don't get enough air in there. But with that one, it should be, filling it with the prime amount of air.
Yeah,
so
you shouldn't have an issue. So that's surprising.
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully Lucas can help you out there, David. I've got Carl. Hey guys, I have started up my side business and it's going extremely well. Awesome. I was wondering, how would getting IDA certified / verified help my business, or is it worth it? Oh, this is a fun question, Sydney.
It is a fun question.
Got to answer plenty of times.
I do think that it's a good idea. The reason that I feel this is you have to look at what you're looking to get out of it. For me, I feel like it gives you a group to be part of. So it's a great resource. It's a really great training resource. So the IDA, keeps all the old webinars and training manuals and SOPs and everything. Like, it's just a great training resource. But also, getting certified and verified, it gives you something to market to your customers that may set you apart from the guy down the street. So I compare it to kind of like being ASE certified. So while the test and the certification is fairly easy, it also does keep you a little bit humble and like let you know what the areas you could get in trouble are, which I think is really important. And it's very low cost of entry. So that's the way I look at it, is it's a low cost of entry, and it does make you more official. Even when you're running a side business, it is showing your customers that you care about everything being on the up and up. And, you get special access to webinars that are very good. Like the monthly webinars are very, very good. So I think it's just another tool for education that comes at a very low cost.
And the customers, I've heard this come up too, when people are like, the customers don't know what it is.
Right.
Well, sometimes you can take the opportunity to educate them, but ultimately, like, if you're just in a pinch and they see a piece of paper on the wall that indicates you actually did some kind of thing that earned some kind of certificate, and you tried a little bit. Right. And like, this isn't to say like, oh, just go put a fake certificate on the wall. No, like legitimately try. You feel you earned it. You can speak to that experience. For sure. That goes a long way towards providing people peace of mind that you're going to be working on their vehicle. Yeah. There's some level of like accountability that's taken place.
It just adds
and
legitimacy.
That goes a long way.
Yeah, it adds legitimacy, and like I said, it kind of keeps you in line with what the latest, rules, requirements, all that are. And then, but the biggest thing that I like to talk about with the IDA is to not think that it's going to suddenly make you into this great business. Like, you're going to have to do the work, but take out of it what you need. But I will say that just advertising the fact that you're IDA certified is probably not going to get you customers, but it's going to build faith with your current customers.
Right.
Yeah.
Nope, that's the best way to look at it. Now I've got Crone. Having fun there, Gabe? Oh, you didn't do it right.
Man.
Gotta slam it, bro. All right, Crone, TRC, do you guys carry built hammer? Now, we kind of answered this earlier, but in a little bit of time, you may see some stuff start popping up in the store, and you may see it start popping up on Amazon. So, just a heads up on that front, Crone. Then I've got Hanzo for synthetic leather seats. How would you care for them, and how often? For my previous question, it would be a contact bucket wash. Thanks.
So, fun fact, most leather seats in cars are synthetic leather. So I treat them all the same. Because especially, like in this truck here, there's going to be some surfaces are going to be real leather, some are going to be synthetic leather. So I treat them all the same, to be honest. The only time that I'm going to switch that up is on real leather, like on older cars, maybe Ferraris or something. I might use something different. But synthetic leather, Tesla leather, the vegan leather, all that kind of stuff, vinyl, I treat it all the same. And I'm still going to have to go with the natural finish.
You're going to love this next question. Crone wonders, when will TRC carry natural finish?
That's a great question.
I feel like there's pressure being applied here. Perhaps folks who have a way to affect these changes are listening. And
I need to bring, what I need to do? I need to
man.
bring Lucas a bottle of natural finish. I got to get Lucas on the natural finish.
So
He's never
Lucas
tried it, has he?
No.
No,
That's how you got to do that.
All right. So next on the list then. All right, Frank Kruger here saying, hey guys, I plan on doing my first ceramic coating soon on my dad's new car. What are a couple key tips I should keep in mind? Well, Frank, I'll have you know that this truck that Gabe's been washing, he's been taking the steps, I would say necessary, but you can do it other ways too, to get this vehicle coated. So it's actually going to be like a big deal next week. We're going to be doing a lot of different coating related activities, and this truck's going to be a part of it. But Gabe, what can you say to Frank here to help him out? Give him a little pump up, a little psyching before his big show.
The prep is key in order to make it perfect. Polish it out, because you don't want to coat whatever defects you have on the paint. But the other thing too that you want to keep in mind is test a panel. See how fast the flash time is going to be in your area, because every coating, depending on where you're located, humid or dry climate, is going to have a different flash time. Even though they have recommendations on the box, read those as reference, but get a feel for it yourself, do a wipe off, and then go panel by panel. That's what I would suggest. Don't go crazy. Don't do one whole huge area of the car and then realize you high spotted. So just take your time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think one thing I would have you do, Frank, because this is a very broad question, like as far as the answer. So one thing that I would encourage you to do is go back on the TRC YouTube and look for, there's a video, and I'm not saying you have to use stout by any means, but it's a great video just explaining almost the whole ceramic coating process from beginning to end, and then just adapt it to whatever coating you're using. But the information in that video, which is, prepping, and I don't even remember what it's called, prepping and something for stout, but it goes through the prep and the polishing and the alcohol wipe down. Like, it actually goes through the whole process, and then just whatever coating you're using, figure out what the install process is for that. But that video is really good just to get what are you looking at as far as step by step. So that's a great recent video that we did. And then just follow the manufacturer install instructions on whichever coating you're using.
Okay. Next up, I've got Dennis Semenk here saying, are there plans to ship items to Serbia from the web store? Now, I will say, Dennis, we actually have a few distributors around the world. I recommend you go to theradcompany.com and take a look at our distributors. You can just go to the main homepage at theradcompany.com, scroll to the bottom, click on the distributors tab or button down there, and it'll show you who we have around the world that's available to ship, hopefully closer to you. I would guess the place to start would actually be the Rag Company Europe. So the Rag Company TRC EU, you could check them out, and there's a good chance they'd be able to help you out. Our dear friends Patrick and them over there. So make sure you reach out to them, and they can tell you who's best to get a hold of our products. Okay, next up, I've got David Boyce. Okay, Lucas, I'll add more soap. Where's Magnus, a.k.a. Anthony Fisher King? I miss him and his baby face.
Aww.
Well, he's dealing with his own baby face, a new baby face, at home, so that's why he's not here. But he will be here next week, so you can look forward to seeing him then. All right, next up, Josh says, Gabe, less talking, more working. Gabe's been doing a good job.
Josh, just so you're aware, I'm having to slow down in some cases. That way that this wash lasts the entire live, because I would have been done if this was a regular job. Just saying.
And then Armor Detail Supply just
Full
screaming,
send,
product
baby.
screaming, full send, baby.
Heck yeah.
That's right. Okay, and then I got Mac Bergson here. Thank you for answering my question about the Schrader valve. I'm sure it was in the box, but I lost it from my office to the garage. Okay, so somewhere along there on the travels it took, it became embedded in carpet, lost in a air grate, something like that. Anyway, hopefully, Mac, that does the trick. Then 2.0, I've got, I do love me some full send at 1-to-1, again, because Sydney told me to. I'll have to grab some natural finish to compare.
Yes.
Okay, so slowly converting all of them over to natural finish until we're forced to carry it too, because, well, that's what people want. All right, David, 277V saying, wish I was there helping him wash this truck.
Thank you, David.
It's the thought that counts, you know?
Give me
Yeah.
1 second. Bob Phillips is trying to FaceTime me.
What?
So 1 second.
Okay.
Let me tell him 15 minutes.
You
No, you know
worry
what you
about
should
that.
do?
I'll take care of
Just ask him. Yeah.
And then I've got David Boyce here saying,
Say,
Dane,
we've got questions. We should just bring him on FaceTime. Like, yes,
Dane,
should.
I had a dream.
That's what I was going to say, but then I'm like,
Nah. David Boyce, Dane, I had a dream about you and Anthony. Oh boy, I don't like the sound of that. That you sold the Rag Company and started selling pants and shirts built out of microfiber and burlap. Oh, what?
Oh, what?
Weird. Huh? Okay, David, that's a strange one, man. Well, I don't see that happening, but hopefully that dream just stayed a dream and didn't become a nightmare. All right, jury here. Let's see. What are you saying? Could you please help me with the order in which to add a non-organic wax that stains faded plastics the same day / weekend as dressing a plastic trim? I'm not that steady, I'm afraid. Okay, so maybe a little bit of
me with the order in which to
language
add a
figuring that out, but I think I
non-organic
get what they're saying
wax
here.
That's stained faded plastics on the same day as dressed.
Okay, so they're
I
trying to figure out
think-
what order of
Right.
tasks.
Like how to fix it. I'm guessing because it sounds like maybe he put the wax on, it faded the trim, but he also put dressing over it. Am I reading that
Okay.
right? In which to add which to add. That's. Oh, got it. Oh, got it. Okay, so
sorry, we had Nick in our ear. He was giving a suggestion.
I'm like, wait. So I do think that you could probably put dressing on the trim and then apply the wax to the paint.
Sure.
And definitely the dressing will help defend the wax from staining. So I would definitely try it that way for sure. You could also tape it off if you felt like it, but yes, definitely adding the dressing first will help with the wax.
Okay. Then I've got Frank Kruger here. Frank is saying, if you had to pick 4 to 5 towel lines of DRZ, what would they be and why?
Oh,
Whole lines.
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
I mean, we could certainly do that.
4 to 5?
4
Yeah.
to 5. Okay, I've got 3
Yeah,
right off
do
the
it.
top of
What
my
you
head.
got?
So first would be like the liquidator, right? And
Yep.
then the FTW line, and then the edgeless 365s.
Yep.
I do love those. I love the creatures. Is that a
Yes.
line?
No, those are great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a line. And then what's my other favorite? Oh my gosh. Rip and rags.
I was going to say, I was going to do Rip and Rags. I didn't know where you were going, but I thought,
I don't want to forget that. I love me some Rip and rags.
Yes. Big
There we go. There was 5.
Rip and Rag fans over
Yes.
here. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm in a similar boat. Once again, you know how much I love the FTW, so obviously they got to be there. Definitely got to throw my Rip and Rags in there. I'm a big fan of the regular ones, but especially a big fan of the pearl ones. I just love pearl texture.
Both.
So those XLs are where I would go.
Gabe's channeling his
he's really at it there. Really dousing those tires. Then I guess if I were to pick other ones, if I had to pick on a drying towel lineup, I would steer towards. I like the slim dryer a lot.
Yeah.
So I would go towards the slim dryer, and if not the slim dryer, then the liquidator kind of has my heart.
Yeah.
So I would go towards one of those directions.
Yeah.
Then for some like specialty towels, I'm probably one of the few people who still feels this way, but I love those dedicated like really flat glass towels, the herringbone weave style ones, the diamond ones. Those. That's just me though. Kind of weirdo. And then the last one I do, this one's kind of an oddball too. I love our micro suede, like just the suede cloths. I love those for all small screens,
for sure.
Phones, the iPad, glasses, watch. So you know all the little stuff.
Yep,
that's where I go. What about you, Gabe? Anything you got?
So the Rip and Rags I would take because they've got kind of your terry and they've got your pearl. I would take the gauntlets because they have different sizes. I really like the 12 by 12 gauntlets.
Yeah.
So I would add those. So those two, the FTWs for sure. That would be my third choice. The Eagle 500s. Reason why wipe offs are fantastic, but the other thing too is you could use them as a rinseless if you wanted to. And then my fifth would probably be the 365s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically for polish wipe off.
Yeah.
So that's my 5.
Cool.
Nice. And Sheepstar, if you're taking the cluster out and the cover is available separately, just replace it. Yeah. Now, Sheepstar, the reason, with normal cars, yes. But the reason we didn't do that, say like on our Subaru STI project, was because that car was kind of a rare color. It was an older vehicle. The readout for the mileage there was really important that we keep that as original as possible and everything. If you change that, it would affect the ultimate value when we eventually went to auction it off. Yeah. So we didn't want to bring any of that questionability to it. So we kept it instead. And that meant it was going to be a harder job, but it was worth it in the end for us to do that. But you're right. On a normal vehicle, just get a new one. All right. David Boyce. I still can't get the scratches out of my rear taillights.
Again, that's like the plastic dilemma. It's hard to polish plastic when the scratches have made dents. Because you're just not going to wear that plastic away like we do on paint.
True. Now, I've got 2.0 here. Every time I use Reflect, I end up with what looks like fine lint on the glass, no matter what towel I use, and the lint doesn't wipe off easily. It doesn't happen with glass cleaner, though. Any ideas? Have you experienced anything like this?
Never. But I will say I only use Reflect with my glass FTWs. Okay. So my feeling here is the towels that you are using may have lint on them.
Contaminated.
Yeah. So I would try, if you have a new FTW, to try that. But I've never had any linting issue with Reflect or my FTWs, but mainly because of the way I'm very OCD about them. They get washed by themselves. They get stripped. All the things. They've never touched anything with lint. So I have a feeling it might be your towel.
Yeah.
FTWs, right at the ragcompany.com.
They're really
fantastic towels.
Yeah.
Try them out.
They're fantastic towels, yes. And that's right. A lot of people, they don't think about it, and they wind up washing the towels that they use on their glass with a bunch of other towels that are used for different tasks, and chemicals, depending on the chemical, can pull fibers out. And then you end up getting a towel that quote-unquote lints when it's not actually that towel that was doing the linting. It was a different one that was affected by different things.
Exactly.
And now you introduced it into the mix, and it's infected everything.
Yep.
So, try and avoid that if you can. Wash your glass towels separately. Ow!
Uh-oh.
You okay there, bud?
Did you hit your funny bone?
He bonked himself something fierce over there, it looks like. While Gabe is recovering, Sydney, what are your thoughts on developing your own paste wax line and taking over the world, says David Boyce.
Well, my thoughts are pretty not pro on this because I've never used a paste wax and it sounds like it's a lot of work. And if you know me... I like products
You're
that
not interested.
Well, I mean, like we joke, but I like products that give me, the best result, but that are super pleasurable to use. And paste wax doesn't sound too fun for me. So, I don't know that I would do that. But maybe there's like thoughts on developing something else and taking over the world. I'm all about it. It's just probably not going to be a paste wax.
I feel the same way. That just, that makes sense.
But I like the taking over the world part.
Gabe might do the paste wax. He's into
Rare.
old school types of things.
So the only reason why I would use the paste
You're going to come out
wax-
with a special sock to remove it.
Okay, Dane. Actually, that's not a terrible idea. Create
Just a microfiber sock.
a microfiber sock. Yeah, because I always tell the story of back when my dad was kind of teaching me how to put on an old school paste wax, and he would do it with an old school cotton sock.
Oh, yeah.
But what I was gonna say was, if you're looking to try it, right, I would use it for examples if you have an old vehicle, and you're just really careful about the paint. That's where I would probably use it. And I was gonna say Koch hand wax.
Yeah.
Try it out. It
good
smells
stuff.
really good too.
All right.
Very fun.
Next up, Super Auto 2K. Hey, Al, saying, Sid and Gabe, have you used KCX HPC? If so, on what? And can you use it as an adjustable matte to gloss level tire shine?
Tell me what HPC is. I'm not good
Gabe.
at all the Koch acronyms.
Tire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tire. I have used it.
So there's your answer for Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I've
As
used
I'm
it.
still like, huh?
I've used it. It's great stuff. Oh man, I love that camera angle. Sorry. So
Work those glutes, buddy.
yeah. So I actually really like it. It's a good. I would say it's kind of your matte finish. It's not bad. So, and you can always knock it down very similarly. But yeah, it's fantastic stuff. Give it a try.
All right. Ooh, this is a fun one here from Fine Detailing.
I like fun ones, Dane.
Ryan asking me, Dane, why is Korean microfiber, quote, better than Chinese? I know y'all sell both. Can we get a quick education on the difference? Thanks. I think this is definitely a good way to go out probably on this stream, because that is a long answer. But since I'm trying to get a lot of these questions, I'll give you kind of a short version. For a while there was definitely the impression that Korean microfiber was of a higher quality than Chinese microfiber. But what a lot of people miss is your finished product is only as good as the yarn that you start it with. So what we did for a lot of our quote-unquote Chinese towels was we were actually using Korean yarn. So we were using South Korean yarn that we knew of the highest quality that we could find there. Then it was used to create the Chinese towels. So you kind of had a bit of split the difference sort of thing going on. But quality was always a big point of what we were doing, because there's a lot of other places you can worry about just getting the cheap thing, race to the bottom, all that. We're more concerned about the quality. That's what we stake our name on and try and really make a bigger deal about, because otherwise you're just doing what everybody else does and taking the cheap route. But to answer your question, why was it perceived as better? For a while there, a lot of the products, like microfiber products people would get that said made in China on them, were kind of the cheap stuff in your auto parts stores, and it just created that impression that like, oh, okay, this is going to be the cheaper stuff. But oftentimes, when somebody was buying from there, they were building to a cost. They were having it made with a really, really high polyester count and not a high polyamide count. So you would end up with like these 95.5 towels, 97.3, 100% polyester. They would just push water. It wasn't great, but it looked like a towel, and it could still be soft, but you didn't find out how good it was until you actually used it. And that was frustrating. So people kind of developed a stigma around it, a stereotype around it as to what it is. But the reality is, when it comes to Chinese products, you can absolutely get higher quality products. It can be made to any level. And frankly, when it comes to actual production of things, the expertise has been there for decades now. Like really, the ingenuity, the brains behind a lot of this stuff, they're producing really high quality stuff. If somebody's willing to pay for it, wants to make to that higher standard, it absolutely can be done. It's just, for the longest time, it had that impression because a lot of places that would go there were trying to get something cheaper. And that just became the thing, when Korean was always going to be a little bit more. But yes, the yarn that you start with was the move. Like Korean yarn, excellent microfiber yarn. So, sorry, I'm kind of dancing around on that, but that gives you a little bit of a sense. I would argue that there are plenty of Chinese products that can go toe-to-toe with the Korean stuff now. It's not even a question. It just matters on the particular individual product and how somebody plans to use it. All right. So, next up, Dan's Diamond Detail. Got Dan here. Would love to see a paste wax from TRC and from P&S. Oh, you know what? Any paste wax options there in the lineup? I don't recall.
I'll ask
They have
Dave.
a lot of products.
I feel like I'll ask him. I won't let my opinions influence him.
No, that's fair. Definitely not. I'm not just going to like stare daggers through the... Dan's Diamond Detail. Also, quick question. I just got the bottle of Clarity Cream. Can I polish the inside of my glass?
I wouldn't. Mainly because most glass is either tinted by the factory and it's just not really meant that surface for it. So the only time I would use Clarity Cream on the inside of a glass would be maybe like an older vehicle, like a 80s. You could maybe try it, but the new ones I would not, because most of them have some sort of tint situation on the inside, and Clarity Cream is not tint safe.
Good point. Yeah, you could do some irreparable harm.
Yeah.
If you did that.
Yeah.
Barney, 13. What's he saying, Sid?
Oh, goodness. What do you guys recommend for removing sunscreen fingerprints from matte black pillars? Polish them with therapy. And a soft pad. Yeah.
Having done that, actually, when we were working in the car
crazy, right?
a couple weeks ago, that was amazing. Like, it did it after the show, after I washed that car. But holy cow, that was so good.
Yep.
All right. We got Silva here with a hello from sunny Portugal. Yes. Gabe needs a bit of Joey Belinsky to tackle that ram.
That's great.
Oh. Would have been handy. I don't doubt that. Then we've got, there are some who call me Tim. Can you also explain why your Chinese-made towels are better than the random Temu specials? Some companies have been throwing shade about Chinese towels lately. Yes, when people paint with a broad brush, a lot of important context gets lost. And like I said before, when I was talking about that other part, it really comes down to, are you dealing with a company that's just like picking up what's already on the shelf and then just doing like some kind of, good enough, send it out kind of thing? Or are you looking to go to a company with like a proven standard of, we care about this stuff, we're going to vet it. And yes, will somebody occasionally have like an experience that's less than perfect? It happens to everybody. But the big difference, the thing to look for is like, is that just like across the board something that happens every single time? In which case that shows a lack of like curiosity or interest in improving your own products versus, okay, somebody hit a bad batch. It was a problem for a minute and then it gets fixed because we care. We want to resolve that stuff. So when we run into those, that's something we care about. And that totally separates us from the generic stuff you're going to find elsewhere. It truly is. Like, we're going through our own, factories for that stuff. They're doing it specifically for us. It's not just something pulled off a shelf. So, that gets us to the end of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I know I did. Sid?
Bring it in,
Pretty good
Gabe.
show. Yeah, let's get Gabe over here.
Love it. Always love
you
being
did good
here.
work, man.
Yeah, the
You did
truck
good
looks
work.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I bet.
I bet. Yeah.
But it's ready, and Carson, Lucas, Josh, and Anthony, they're going to have a fun time.
No, that sounds good. So they will be coding that next week. We can look forward to seeing that done in a future video, I believe. But in the meantime, guys, gals, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't hit like yet, smash that thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to The Rag Company and leave a comment down below on the video for future people. If you got some more questions that weren't able to be answered during the show, we'll do our best to try and answer those next time. So keep it coming, and we'll see you next week. Adios.
See you guys.
See ya.